Welcome to the Stormy Dragon Tavern. We are here with session 90 of our
Holy heck.
Gloved Molotov campaign.
Stupid.
Yeah.
90.
90 sessions. Can you believe it? I certainly can't. It genuinely boggles the mind. Pardon me? Food?
It's like, and in that entire time, Charles hasn't died yet. Like, he keeps going down, but defies all odds every time.
It's, hey, you know that old meme I sent, which was like Lockie taking half HP, I'm fine. Catalina taking half HP, you know?
Yeah, Charles
It's now-
taking
it's
4
now-
damage.
It's now me and Charles on a good day. We're fucking dying.
Oh boy.
Not too
Okay. So,
Guess I'll die.
what has been happening with the party? You have been taking some downtime, some much earned downtime on Harbona,
Stupid camera things.
and working on stuff. Dearest Catalina has been working towards paying a visit to her estranged mother out in the wastes, and also assembling a badass motorcycle, which is also a gun, because, you know, needs must and all that. Lockie and Charles have found themselves assisting in the work and maintenance of a fighter craft that has a gun attached to the underneath of it that is larger than the fighter craft itself. After managing to persuade the core to actually work and carefully dismantling what was previously a dangerously put together core that would have failed spectacularly if Charles hadn't stepped in, they test fired it. The Energizer Bunny of a human pilot was dragged away by his father, who was go figure, a safety officer. And then Charles and Lockie thought it would be a great idea to go and fly the fighter craft themselves, even though they weren't really that experienced at all. They managed to get by all right, honestly. Lockie was able to recall instructions given to him previously by Tazi about how to control the speed and direction of a craft, but there's a lot of nuance he missed, and just as they were done test firing the weapon and trying to work out some kinks, the engine failed, and they had to make for a very, very hasty landing. Jim was contacted by the Harbonan hospital, though initially he was like, "Nah, man, I'm good. Just get more psychics." The doctor said, "Hey, we actually have a squad of 4 soldiers who will really, really want your work," and said, "Hey, just hack us up and make us badasses with cyberware." And
Speaking of,
yeah.
I didn't get their names. Can I pull that from their case files, please?
You can get your names, their names, as soon as I'm done doing my spiel.
My bad. I just forgot to do that. But yeah,
and as soon as I randomly generate them.
Bingo, guys! That bingo board.
Bingo!
Which I do not have handy. I will fix that.
All good. What else happened? Yes, Pim got not 1 but 3 teachers. One thought that he was a child and gave him such an education. 2 were feuding rivals. 1 young prodigy and 1 seasoned professor who probably has tenure, who did not like each other. And though ultimately Pim did manage to get a good science education by their powers of mind, he deemed that the young prodigy was better than her rival. But ultimately that the elderly woman, who was perhaps not entirely with it, that her educational practices were best. And now the question remains, what has Dimitri been doing? with his time.
Dimitri has been reading
Uh-huh.
and drinking.
And avoiding
Okay.
family dinner.
Everything
Yeah.
is going to come out of cocoon.
The book is
Pim-
called Weathering a T-Shirt.
Pim and Jin running into the pilot station, going, Dimitri, look at our art, and Dimitri going, that's very nice. I'll hang it on the fridge.
It's like, only it's not like when those kids draw something and you lift it up and you're like, what is that? Because you really don't know. In this case, it's the macaroni is placed so perfectly that it's almost just
Mechanical.
art-esque. Yeah.
That is nice little picture of Cthulhu you have done.
What can I say? I am a fan of Lovecraft.
So, I imagine you are going to skip the first Sunday dinner. You are on Planet 4. Just because you're quite preoccupied doing ship maintenance and getting the Milan back in fighting shape.
Yes.
Okay.
Let us say yes, because I haven't been paying attention for 2 weeks.
That's all good.
You've had life things, that's fair.
Yes. Given that that is the case, I will say you get round to like Wednesday next week. You've been working hard and have been doing your best to get the ship as good as possible. And at this point, Lockie has not approached the rest of the party about the offer made by the council. So you're just working to get the ship fully repaired.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Uh-huh.
So did Lockie. Lockie's been preoccupied.
Uh-huh. So,
I was going to ask what was the offer, but I guess I haven't heard it, so it's all good.
you were actually in the room for it, I believe.
I was too, yeah.
Yes, the Harbona is basically offered to fold the Milan and the Gloved Molotov crew into the Harbonan military and pimp the ever-loving Dickens out of the Milan and make it the Harbonan flagship.
Oh,
Okay.
that sounds so exciting. But at the same time, Catalina has other plans for the Milan.
Of course. So,
Not my baby.
uh-huh. So, it comes as no surprise to Dimitri, who has probably been eagerly nursing her in his robes for an entire week, when the hard chrysalis that's just been bouncing up and down against his hip as he walked moves and shifts and cracks.
Oh, little one, you have come back to me.
You hear in your head, and then it sounds like the hard exterior chrysalis just cracks and falls apart inside your robes, and you feel frantic, scuttling and shuffling, not unlike this cat who's trying to steal my dinner. Don't you dare!
Rory, we've been over this. You
We
brought this
have.
upon yourself.
It's my food, it's tofu, it's not even flipping meat.
That's
Get outta
a
here.
lie. That's a lie, Rory. It's not your food. The cat merely gives you the privilege of eating it.
So, when Molly emerges from her chrysalis, she immediately makes for the ground and scurries out of your robes to just flex and stretch around a bit. And upon initial inspection, she doesn't look all that different than how she did when she went in. The one thing you notice immediately is she's a little bit larger. She is pushing the definition of house cat just a little bit and is a bit bigger in all dimensions than you were really expecting.
Now she's
But-
large. home cat.
But she still looks like quite like a pill bug, but perhaps a bit less curved around the edges and has only 6 legs.
Yeah, I kind of like
And-
trilobite too. So
Indeed, yes, and a pair of antennae. And she just scuttles them down to the ground and says, "Done!"
okay, but you don't look much different. Maybe a little bit bigger.
Oh, it's because I still wanted to be able to roll around on the ground, so I needed to keep the shape. But I did something new. Do you want to see?
Sure.
Okay.
Show me the new things.
And she, like, splays out a bit, plants her little spindly legs on the deck of the ship, and you can see that the rear section of her body, which is normally like somewhat consistent plating along the back, goes like, and like space in her body like pops and cracks. So there's gaps in between her plates on the back of her.
So you were saying she's like expanding table.
Am I the only one else getting perfect cell vibes and should be worried?
Maybe. But it seems the reason behind this is flexibility. She takes this portion of her rear and then just bends it up and over herself, and is now pulling off like kind of an earwig looking vibe of having a longer tail that she can bend up and over her body.
She's a scorpion.
And like as she sits there and gets situated, you see what you thought was a fully intact plate is actually a lot of smaller plates, all kind of interconnected, and they begin to fold back, and you can see emerging just the tip from the rear of her tail is a small pointed blue crystal.
She consumed one of the crystals.
Yes, she did.
You have blue crystals stuck in your tail. Is that meant to be there?
I made it. I can make them now. I have.
Okay, so it's like poop.
I have 3. Yeah, I've got 3 in there. Yeah. Just to remind you, I need to eat more salt now.
So you can make more crystal?
Yeah.
And what do you do with these 3 crystals?
What? So I think I can shoot them.
You think you can shoot them?
I don't know. I've never tried before. Give me a target.
That's what they were designed to do.
Perhaps shoot at the door.
Okay. Shoot.
I was gonna say, isn't that a phase projectile?
Yes, it is. She gets all situated and comfortable and goes. And just as she's about to fire, you hear this like the sound of her tail vibrating, and then it goes, fires through the door, and you hear one of the Harbonan engineers on board the ship go, "Ah!" from beyond.
Oh, that's great.
Molly, that is amazing. I don't think the person on the other side of the door thinks so, but I do.
Yeah, like, can't believe it. I didn't even realize that. Yeah. I wonder what I hit.
Hopefully not the engineer that is out there working at the moment, but
The door that was fired through slides open dramatically, and you can see there is an engineer wearing like big, thick goggles, and one of them just has a crystal wedged
in it.
partially in one of the goggles, and he's like, "Explain yourself."
I don't have to explain shit. Good
Oh.
catch, though.
My apologies, Captain Demidov. I thought it was somebody pulling a prank.
Niet. Not a prank, just a... let's call it a weapons test, and lucky I did not kill you, I guess.
Okay, do you want this back? And he's like trying to, like, he takes off his goggles and is like trying to pull the shot free.
Grab another pair of goggles and give me those.
Okay. And he saunters off.
Spasibo. So Molly, like, you said you have 3. Like, how long does it take you to make another one?
I'm sure. I've never timed it before. I'll tell you when I'm finished with the replacement for this one, okay?
Sure. Interesting. I'm going to take this to Charles, I think.
Projectile poops.
Mm-hmm.
Rory,
You
back on
can
yourself.
ride along in your usual spot.
What?
I'm not going to leave you here just to make shit. Like, that is pointless.
Okay. And she like, her tail kind of curls back over, goes, snaps back into place, it gets more compact. She scurries forward, jumps a bit, rolls up into a ball, and goes, just trundles away down the hall.
I follow her.
Okay. Charles,
Yeah.
what are you doing when Molly finds you?
Am I even on the ship?
What?
Because I was down on the planet dealing with the
I thought he.
prototype.
Let's say, for the sake of narrative, that arc is finished, and you will potentially have returned back to the Molotov to continue on with your other work. Time's all squiffy.
Probably loading the next lot of calculations into the supercomputer.
Well then, let's go.
To the Milan.
Milan, Goldex, and I will
Charles.
play.
Yes, Pim.
Why aren't you working on my biological body?
That's part of the calculations. I'm working on 3 different projects at the moment. I can't just fixate on one.
Oh, yeah, you can't multitask, can you? Not like I can. Sorry.
I don't have multiple bodies. If I did, I think the ship would be in danger.
Is it true that it's your birthday soon? It says so in your file.
I don't know. Can't even remember what date it is.
What do people do during birthdays? From what Lucky has told me, they have something called a party.
Yes, sometimes there's party. Sometimes there is cake to be had.
Cake.
Yes.
I wonder how big I can make a cake.
Oh dear.
Downloading recipes.
At this point,
Carry on, Dr. Charles.
the door behind you opens, and you hear in your head as a pillbug ball rolls into the room past you and begins doing laps of the main computer console.
Is that Molly?
I am concerned.
So am I.
I rock her. That is Molly in her slightly altered form. She has a new trick to show you, and it results in things like this. And I show the goggles with the...
I've seen that before. Take it off. Just take it off him. I'm just like looking at it. Like, not sure I still have the ability. These are these phase, yes?
What?
Phase. As in they occupy 2 planes at the same time.
Oh, duh. Molly has a new trick. She flies this out of her tail, and it went through the door that I told her to aim at and lodged into the goggles of the engineer on the other side.
Yeah, you should probably be very careful with these.
I didn't know what she was doing. She goes, I have this new trick. And I'm like, show me. Shoot out that, if that's what it does. Lucky she didn't
Vibration
try later, I
phasing
guess.
is very dangerous. However, useful.
Yes, I only had one part to test on. And now I have another one, I guess.
She says she can store 3, and we don't have a time frame on how long it takes for her to make it yet.
Right.
I'll let you know when I'm done. She's still doing laps.
I require pre-tech salvage.
Don't we all?
I do not have a pre-tech bug, so sorry. Well,
I
actually,
do not understand the data.
Never mind.
Dimitri, is there anyone on Harbona that might have pre-tech salvage that we can...
Most
them
likely
market?
there is somebody there. There's lots of junk dealers, and I would not be surprised if some have some pre-tech and do not know what they have.
I would like to go down to the planet. Will you promise me that they're not going to enslave me and try to use me as a weapon?
I will escort you if you wish.
I also wish to go see Lucky. I need to show him this macaroni head I've made.
Oh my god, I've seen the art.
What is with all the macaroni art, suddenly?
I was never taught. Art is actually quite fun.
Duh.
She was very nice. She taught me many things, including consideration, care, morality. She taught me that sometimes the basics are what foundations the rest of the world, the universe. Very simple. Her teachings might be basic, yet they are built on millions of years' worth of growing. Comparatively, the other two seemed like children.
That is fun. It is, I guess a manifestation, perhaps? It is someone else's viewpoint of the world that I see.
Give a man a screwdriver, he will take apart a ship to pass the time.
I don't think I've only ever used a screwdriver to pull apart a ship.
Jin is in the room, but he's sort of just standing in the doorway watching this exchange.
It is a metaphor. Jin, would you like to come to the planet with me? I suppose you would also be interested in pre-tech salvage, would you not?
I suppose. What's the difference between pre-tech and not?
Pre-tech salvage as well as post-tech salvage. Post-tech salvage is more accreted science. The machine is strong, but not breaking of the ether reality, whereas pre-tech has been known to defy physics.
I mean, I still don't quite understand. Do you mean it's like psychic, or...
Are you familiar with religious beliefs?
Not really, no.
Very well. I will try to simplify it. On the one hand, you have cyberware. On the other hand, you have cyberware that can change into whatever you want at any time you like it to. Which one is more significant?
I mean, I make both, or made both.
Creating air from gold. That is what I'm discussing.
I'd sort of just nod. I think you've definitely lost him at this point.
Worth a try.
Yeah, look, I'll come down to the surface. There's something I've been meaning to ask anyway. Yeah.
I'm gonna quickly call Lockie.
Okay, Lockie, would you still be helping, what was his name? Leo Popov with his ship, because after like a day, his dad couldn't stay mad at him, and so he wasn't grounded anymore, and so he came back to work on the ship.
Yes. After everything that happened, I think Lockie would be working on trying to help him work out the kinks of what caused that overload on the engines, so that it has a safety to stop it from happening again.
Okay. Let's say that for that when you receive the call from Jin, Leo is in the cockpit again and is basically running a series of tests, and you are like sitting in the belly of the beast, physically observing everything from inside your Romney for safety. And he's just, even though you're like on a call, he's still yelling because of the roar of the engine. He's like, "How about this?" He's going as he's like revving the ship and making it do all this stuff.
No, too much power. Too much power still.
No such thing!
Sometimes there is a such thing.
Fine. Better?
Yeah, acceptable. It's gone down like 2%.
Yeah. Okay, I'll lock it in there.
All right, it's mine. Hello.
Yeah, did you get a contact for the council?
Contact for the council.
You know when they asked you about that?
So Jin has completely skipped all formalities like hello, it's Jin. Like that, because he's just not used to using a phone to talk to people in a way that matters.
Yeah, like they offered you that deal. I was wondering if you had a line back to them so that I can at least call them on an unrelated matter.
Yeah. I think we got the details. Pretty sure
Alright.
we did get the details, didn't we?
Yeah.
Right, yeah, right. And do you have... Ah, shit. Is Charles with you?
No, he ain't with me at the moment.
Right next to you. He's in the computer room.
Yes, he's in the
Okay. I will not ask that question then, because I'm not that daft. Instead, I'll just walk into the same room that Charles is when I'm on the phone to Lockie.
Yeah, I might have a request for them, so if you could just ping that through to me. I think I'm going to visit the hospital with Charles if he's willing to accompany.
And I just shove him in the shoulder and look at him pointedly while standing there.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I can send that for you. No problem.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you.
And I will do exactly that.
Okay, you forward contact information of Grand Speaker Svetlana from the Technocratic Council.
I just realized I fell back into Tabaxi voice. I'm having trouble with voices at the moment, so I'm going to do the best I can. I'm pretty sure I got COVID, so I apologize to our viewers for my constantly changing accents.
It's all good. Please take care of yourself.
It's all good.
It's fine. We understand you have a personality disorder.
There's that as well. Yeah, so I'll just go,
Thanks, Lucky.
Yeah, good, man. Anytime. Anything else you need?
Yeah, probably your arm sometime next week, but I'll talk to you about that later.
and I just hang up.
Right. Jin, you have like really
All right,
nice way of talking to people. Is that
What do you mean?
like normally when humans talk to each other, we say hello and goodbye, which means nice to talk to you at this time or talk to you at some other time. Or,
Normally when Jin talk to each other, all of our neural kinematics do all of that for us.
so it is.
A pointless, trivial task to do with real tongue that wastes time.
It sets
I
us.
can try if you want them. Fair enough.
It sets in like if I ring up Catalina and say, "Hey, bitch," she get upset.
I didn't call Lockie a bitch, but next time I will endeavor to.
He sort of just looks confused and nods a bit.
Fair enough. I will use, what is it? Friendly, but slightly degrading.
He looks very confused, but just...
Okay.
Okay, so the plan is for all four of you to go down to Harbona, and some are searching for pretext salvage, others are going to the hospital.
I'm just going to poke Charles and just say, hey, Are you called to come?
I will be fine. There's stuff I need to do anyway.
Okay.
In the hospital?
Pardon?
In the hospital?
I can stop by the hospital, but there's other things I also need to do afterwards.
Okay, cool. How are you about making questionable medical reports?
And he's just like looking at his combat at the same time.
In what way?
Well, one's in the best interest of the patients, but not necessarily in the best interest for the people they're employed with.
It depends on what you're asking.
Well, okay.
He's going to pull up all the case files for the 4 guys who he's doing cyberware for, and basically just talk Charles through up to the point and go,
The thing is that these guys want something custom and sort of special, and I can do it, but not in the time frame we've got. And I think the only way I can do it is if they, come with us. And if to do so, I kind of need someone with a bit more medical sway to claim that there's a reason why they should come with us, rather than me just doing something that they want. I mean, we need to ask their permission to falsify their medical records, of course, but if you can provide a salient reason why they can come and I can continue working on their stuff, I think they'd really appreciate that.
I can feel the pain, Charles.
You realize that as a doctor, I've taken oaths that...
Do no harm, and you're not harming anyone, you're just lying.
Yes, but I would still get in trouble by medical boards for doing so.
I mean, why? If you can... Yeah, I'm not really following.
Yes.
Look, they obviously can't have these implants put in the time that I need to do it. And they obviously need some degree of medical care. So maybe you could request a transfer and we can at least go that way. Obviously, I want to ask them first and see if they're up for it, but... Which is the other reason I need you to come to the hospital, to, wake them up.
How injured is this person?
Okay.
I've sent you all 4 case files. One of them is like missing half their lung and a kidney. The other is missing both their legs, one at the knee, the other at the ankle. Another one is pretty much ripped off arm at the shoulder. Like, these are nasty wounds.
Yes. Yeah. So a young man is missing both feet and lower left leg, and another young man is missing his right arm, shoulder, lung. He's missing his right arm and shoulder, and his lung and kidney are both damaged on that side. A young woman who all bones below the waist, including some spine sections, are shattered. She's definitely going to be a paraplegic after this. And another young woman whose left hand part of her forearm are blasted off. She's the one who is currently most likely to be conscious, and the one that Jin spoke to.
I mean, the others are probably not awake. I imagine you would ethically put them in some sort of induced coma, especially that third one, poor girl.
I will have a look and decide once we're down.
Yeah, alright. Just like, I think I'd be doing them a favor. And honestly, I'm not too keen on patching them up with a bunch of mechs to send them back into a fucking fire front.
Yes, but...
I've kind of done that enough, and I'm getting a bit sick of it.
Trying to convince them otherwise, especially on this planet, is going to be an impossibility.
Yeah, but I mean, like, look at this.
And he pulls up a diagram of some old cyberware that he's clearly worked on, and it's absolutely mangled. So it's obviously come in, he's made it, sent it back out to the front line. And he starts talking about how it's absolutely mangled and he's so disappointed with the craftsmanship not holding up to the war front and all of this sort of shit. And he's talking as if he's only concerned about the mech, the electronic components, but you can tell he's really hiding the fact that he's not cool with the fact that he patched someone out to go get killed.
Look, right, let's just check in at the hospital, and if we can give it a go, that would be good.
We will have a look and see what we can do.
All right, thanks.
Okay. So, Dimitri, Molly, of course, Charles, Pim, and Jin are all going to hop on the ship's cargo lighter. Pim is the last to arrive, and as you all get settled in, Pim?
So, basically, not your typical Pim. A while back, I did speak about it, but Pim has been fixing with the ideas of having multiple different echo armatures of multiple different kinds. This was his first trial prototype, and she looks nice. She's wearing very decent clothing. She decided to try and make a female suit as opposed to a regular suit like the one Charles wears. And she walks in with a ponytail and a pair of glasses that probably doesn't need. Brunette,
Definitely doesn't need.
green eyes. Yeah. And she just walks into the cargo later. Shall we go?
Jin basically doesn't even glance up and just goes,
Pim, yeah, let's get out of here.
Understood.
Interesting look, Pim.
At that point, Charles looks up from the paperwork going, new shell?
Yes, new armature.
Something different. It looks good.
Thank you.
I'll give you...
I also want to free Plucky out.
I'm pretty sure you'll succeed in that.
I think this best suits your description.
God damn it, Custom, you got me with that one. Okay.
Yeah.
Blue dragon. Asshole.
Oh, that's great.
I need to make a Shazoo bed animated emote.
Please.
I'll work on
Okay.
it in the future.
So, with Dimitri at the controls, you cast off and launch towards the planet.
You guys on the map?
Yes, I moved them down to deck 4, and I have assigned a Fem Pim.
Pim.
I can't see them.
Why not?
I don't know where they are.
Inside the cargo lighter on deck 4.
Left.
You mean
Top left.
top left. Oh, I'm just an idiot.
Oh,
Gotcha.
good. Right. While that's going on, Lucky,
Yes.
you're down on the planet. You are working away, helping out your friend. You've managed to get through this next wave of tests, and he is now absolutely chomping at the bit, bouncing up and down, going, "Oh boy, I want to test fire! Can we test fire, please? Lucky, you got to do it. I didn't get to do it. Can we do it, please?"
Oh god.
Lucky's gonna make a mental effects save. Shit.
Oh dear.
Yeah, but let's do it at half power just to make sure.
My dad said if I ever fire a weapon inside again, he will disown me. So I don't want that to happen, because I love my
Alright,
dad.
let's not fire inside, that's a bad idea.
Okay, I'll fly.
How much have you flown before, kid?
Oh, tons! Mostly on a simulator. A few times in the field. I've got my learners.
Better than me. All right, you fly.
Okay.
Red flag! Red flag! Lucky, no!
Better than me.
Yeah, better than you.
He's not wrong.
Hey, look,
Okay.
if this is like most fighters, the rear controls have the ability to take over control of the flying as well.
Indeed. Right, you two hop into this thing once again. Let's slide the map over to Harbonan Capital View. Just because it's a more appropriate thing. Also, let's go Russian.
With Russia.
Das Vidanya, comrade. Let's enjoy the sad sound of Russian music. There will be no intermission. Hold it. Okay.
Russian
Russian winter. It's very appropriate in my mind. Right. You pile on into to this fighter. Once again, I assume continuing to wear your Romney.
Mhm.
This young man does seem quite adept at quickly pulling on a vac suit to fly, and is smart enough to know to do that. So he pulls on his vac suit. It's very Harbonan in its style. It's very it's kind of bulky and utilitarian looking, but it seems like it'll do the job just fine. And he hops on in, and before I go any further, now I'm the one who has to pee, so I'll be right back.
Oh man.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Yeah, Camel. So you've walked into Lockie, aka played by Ash. Yeah, what Kami said, or Nick said. Jumped in the passenger of a learner flyer. Lockie has no idea how to fly a ship. So that they can
Yeah, I mean,
test
look,
fire a weapon.
he's at least on these learners. I can fire a weapon, that's not a problem.
This could end greatly.
I plan
It's
for
like
this.
jumping into the deep end, only in this case there is no deep end. It just
I mean,
goes
the deep
on
end is
and
deep
on.
space. Yeah.
Isaac Newton.
I'm going to die. Probably
You said
should
that before.
have.
It hasn't happened.
It hasn't.
He just, you come back like Rory just sends you a PDF of the Stars Without Number core edition. You're like, oh, what do I need this for? Am I reading this up to kind of find a way out of this? It's like, no, you're making a new character.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
Yeah. Well.
I figured that's what was going to happen after last time.
It almost did. For two
But
of
it
you.
didn't. That's what's important.
Oh god.
I'm suddenly struck by the fact that the city plus forest looks like a bomb,
It kind of does.
like an atom bomb, perhaps.
Okay.
Yeah. Well.
You are
For me, it keeps crashing.
behind. You're in the rear cockpit, which has navigation for the ship, main weapon control, and auxiliary flight controls, just in case you know.
Mhm.
And he is up front, and the same thing happens as last time. The entire platform shifts around and parks you right next to a side exit. Lights line up. Leo jumps on the comms, talks to the tower, and they give him reluctant clearance to take off for a training flight. And he insists several times, no, it's fine. I have an instructor with me, see?
So gonna get us back
yeah.
to this planet.
It's like I'm traveling in the transit lane because I've got a passenger and it's just a blow-up doll.
Yeah, there's a truck at work that does that.
Oh no.
Good grief.
So, as before, you launch down this tube, and fortunately, he is able to not crash into the side as he's doing so. So
All right, so he's already doing better than me.
he's already doing better than you
It's an
as-
improvement.
as he launches. However, as soon as he is free and clear of the confinements, you can see from his shoulders he was very intently concentrating during that launch, and as soon as he's free and clear of the hole, he just goes, "Let's go!" And it's just 6 back-to-back barrel rolls in this thing. And it takes him in a few spins to lose enough angular momentum to even stop.
I hope you like the loop-de-loop. Oh, I hope you
I
like carrot.
Yeah.
Lockie, can you please make me a physical effect save?
I was about to say I need to make a physical effect save.
Mhm.
Oh. What did Lockie have for breakfast this morning?
It's something.
Pancakes.
Potato pancakes, I would guess.
There we
since
go.
it's Harbona.
Potato cake.
Yes.
Okonomiyaki?
Potato pancakes. Potato pancakes and vodka.
Did you keep it down?
No.
Oh no!
You seriously rolled, wait, hang on, lower than a 10?
I rolled a 3, so yes.
Mm.
Yes, I did.
Oh, got it. Cool. Yep.
For the sake of your own well-being, and because you are a tough big man, it's not full-on blow chunks. It's like
If he has proficiency with combat projectiles, does it go further?
So you lose most of a mouthful of vomit into the inside of your suit. Fortunately, suits like this are designed to deal with that, and you feel a cold sensation down below you as the suit kicks in and it's attempting to freeze and stabilize the vomit and evacuate it for you. But it's still not a pleasant experience. And as the spins and G-forces stop and stabilize, you see from your rear controls, he is getting on the comms channel and is preparing an all-frequency short-range burst, and just yells into his mic, "Yeah!" Dimitri.
I should have cut the comms.
You are flying down to the planet in the cargo lighter. You are just coming up on Harbona, and as you're coming in, you see a trail of black smoke rip out of the side of under the city, and you see it do 6, 7, 8 barrel rolls in a row, and then just yell over comms at short range, "Yeah!" and just start slaloming it in between mountains.
You know what? That feels like pretty classic teenager Harbonan behavior.
Mhm.
Rory,
Yeah.
if I die because of this kid,
It's your own fault because you made the decision.
I'm
Mhm.
But
going
it's
to
what
kill
his
him.
character would do. It's what his character would do, and Rory knows it.
Yes, I do.
I'm just saying
Hey,
I'm coming
look at
back as this
that,
kid's brother.
I remember doing that. Although I did 8, not 6. What an amateur.
An amateur do a barrel roll.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I sent a message to say, what about the moment turn? Have you tried that one?
Lucky, you have comms too, so you hear the sound of Dimitri crackle over the comms, just barely over the roar of the engines behind you.
Isn't Dimitri in a cargo lighter? How does he see all this?
Because he is coming in from above and just sees like a trail of smoke tearing off in the distance.
Seeing that Dimitri is on comms and is aware that this ship is out there, I'm not going to audibly say it. I'm going to send it as a message.
Okay.
I may need you on backup here.
So you just
help spelled with an A.
You just have this like small text box pop up from the ship. It says Lockie, and just goes across the screen.
And it's just, yes, might need your assistance. Can you stand by?
Ladies and gentlemen on board the craft, I think we need to just halt for a moment and watch the corkscrewing action below us, because Loki's in there.
Can we have like a slow motion of them like flying past the cargo lighter, like Lockie looking up through the window, sees the cargo lighter, Dimitri just raising an eyebrow, some chick holding a random Lockie head made out of macaroni in one of the other windows, and just slow motion moment where he's just like, what the?
So here's the thing, Dimitri, you are holding position and you sent an audio message to this kid. He responds and says, "Who is that on the comms?" Checks the scanner and goes, "Oh boy, it's another ship. Lockie, hold on to your butt." And like peels off from the mat range and hauls ass up into space and is making a beeline towards this cargo lighter.
Oh my god.
I'll show you tricks, old man. He's flying directly at it. He's still going.
I gotta wide burst comms. Evasion, guys, evasion. We are coming in too fast to stop.
I'm not playing chicken with some child.
So do you move?
Preferably do not play chicken with him. He will do it.
What are you even doing in that ship?
Well, it was meant to be a weapons test. Looks like it's a test of my patience now.
Does anyone have any messages for their loved ones? If this place gets crashed, I'm going to survive.
The cargo lighter goes, "Warning.
Incoming projectile.
Incoming projectile." I'm gonna have this kid roll to see how well he does what he wants to do.
Oh dear, what does he want to do?
Oh no!
He probably wants to do a serpentine maneuver where you roll and actually roll over the top of the ship, underneath it, and then behind it.
That's literally what he was trying to do.
As we're getting closer, Lockie is actually going to switch controls to the rear and roll us to the side out of the way. Like, hopefully beforehand.
Okay.
Save, maybe?
Can you please roll me vehicle space?
Oh dear.
Because he rolled a 3 on the die for his attempted maneuver.
Okay, I got a 9.
Okay, you.
So it's 8. Sorry, because -1.
Okay. Dimitri, can you also please roll me vehicle space? Just because you are in the air nearby.
That is 9, I think.
Okay. Lockie, you can feel, just based on the churning in your stomach, that as he gets closer and closer and closer, he is about to go for like a barrel roll. You can probably guess the intent is to like basically just fully invert the ship and just have the two tops of your ships pass by really, really close but not hit each other. You don't think he's timed this very well.
Ain't having none of that shit.
So he goes to start the barrel roll, and as he's like partway into the turn, you pull the emergency control lever, turn the other way, and just gun it as fast as you can away from this entire situation.
Yeah.
Dimitri, not knowing any of that, there's a ship coming right at you. What would you have done?
Just engaged like vertical thrusters and just
up.
Yep.
Okay, cool. So you are able to pull it off. So as Lockie takes control and just like peels away the fighter in this direction, you're like nope, and just go straight up, which is a perfectly appropriate maneuver for the situation. And now the very poorly conceived maneuver has been aborted. You hear a shout over his shoulder from Leah going, "Hey, Dad, what are you doing?"
Staying alive. Let's go test these weapons. That's what we're here for.
Give me control back.
You promise not to do any more of that?
Stupid. Ducksy drunk. Fine.
We're here to test the weapon. You can test your flying some other time.
Oh, fun. You talking to him?
I know him.
Oh, cool. Who is he?
Brother Dimitri.
Dimitri? Is he from here?
Yeah.
You're not from here. Is he from here?
Yeah, he's from here.
Oh, cool.
Mention his last name, Lucky.
I don't think Lockie actually knows his last name.
That makes sense. Yes.
I don't think he's ever actually said it to Lockie.
We wouldn't know each other's
No,
last names.
it was, yeah, he's only known it from when we were first introduced on the Gloved Molotov.
Pim says it, doesn't he?
Pim knows Dimitri's last name, yeah, but he's not been asked.
I imagine Charles would have watched all of that happen. Basically, looked at Dimitri and gone, "How close was that?"
You were...
Half a kilometer, perhaps?
No, you'd estimate like 4 meters.
At that
Oh,
point, he
Jesus.
calls Lockie.
Four meters in space is not a lot of space.
No.
You weren't in space, you were in atmosphere. But still, it's not a lot of space for,
Still not a lot of
for a flyby.
There's not enough
for
space in
vehicles.
space.
Charles will call Lockie.
Doc, probably not a good time. What's up?
Please tell me you don't have that hot-headed child in the fucking pilot seat.
Alright, I will tell you that I do not have that hot-headed child in the pilot seat.
I think he's being sarcastic.
I was about to say, I thought he's lying. I can sort of tell from, like, the vibration. Oh, right.
Who is this hot-headed child?
The one that's designed a very inferior ship that I fixed.
I
And
should
said
say,
to
no,
the
like, who
gods,
is
if
he?
he breaks it,
What family
I
is
will
he
break
from?
him.
Where
I
does he
should-
live?
I
Who are
should,
his parents so I can go and bitch slap them?
I should say, Dimitri, you were more concerned initially about the moves being done by this ship, but now that it's peeled off and is flying a bit more normally because it's being controlled by Lockie, you like take a look at the scans of it, and it's basically a heavy fighter, so a fighter jet that can hold 2 people, but a gun like 1.2 times the size of the fighter jet is attached to the underside of the fighter jet. You have no idea how this thing is moving and is this nimble.
Well, I'm expecting it's probably not that nimble. Not as nimble as the kid thinks it is.
No, probably. That's why he was not going to do well on that maneuver.
That fighter looks weird. Like, that is not how we build our fighters normally.
No, they decided that they wanted to strap a capital ship cannon to the bottom of it, and I made it work.
So realistically, what you're saying is this is your problem.
Lucky,
Yes.
tell that child that if he's not careful and if he tries that stunt again, I will be reporting him to Captain Demidov.
Okay. Who's that?
Dimitri's brother.
I'm gonna.
He might be
repeat that
General
to the
Demidov,
kid.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, Pim's just going to walk up and kind of put a hand softly on Charles's shoulder and go, "Charles, it's Lockie." And just kind of make eye contact with him to let him know that this is going nowhere. It's like threatening him with astrophysics.
You're not wrong.
But yes, tell the kid that, and that I want the ship back in one piece.
I'll let him know. Hey, kid. Let's do what we're here to do. Otherwise, Demidov? Captain General? Oh,
What?
wait! That's Dimitri's surname.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, Demidov.
I buzzed the tower on a Demidov? Oh, God.
Is that important?
Very influential family.
Are you recording? You're recording, aren't you?
Okay, fine. Okay. I'll be good. I promise. He's like sobbing a little bit.
This is a good sample of crying. Please tell me you're recording.
Always.
Good. Send it to me later.
He's gonna be like
So weird.
thinking to himself, gonna have to use that name a bit more often around here if it gets that effect.
You want to serve me at the bar? Them of those will hear of this.
My good friend Captain Demidov!
That might be exactly what I was thinking.
Do you know
yes.
what goes on here? Do you know who I am? I know the Demidovs.
Oh yeah, sure you do.
My dad owns a dealership.
My uncle works at Nintendo.
I mean, legit, no people who worked at Nintendo, but cool.
My cousin worked for Capcom.
You know,
Anyway,
I'm super disappointed that I can't get a job at Nintendo just because I'm not Japanese.
oh, so with this ragamuffin sufficiently reined in for the time being, he is willing to fly somewhat normally
Yes.
for now, and does acquiesce to taking this ship away for a weapons test, and as he's flying off to the safe weapon zone, Dimitri is able to safely and without fear of being buzzed by a pubescent Energizer bunny land safely on Harbona. Lucky, just roll me a combat gunnery, please, and see how the test goes.
Yep.
Yep. I like it.
It's a number.
I love it. I'd love to hear the number.
It is a number that is repeated on both dice.
So it's snake eyes?
Double ones.
It is double ones,
Oh
which makes it a 4, but it is double ones.
no. Okay.
This is payback for all the good rolls we got last week.
Yeah.
Yes, it
Very
is.
much.
About me and Ash both rolled double ones last week.
Yep.
At the same time.
Really, Lockie, why did you blow up the food supply that is the last remaining farm in Harbona?
Don't give him ideas.
I also
Did
rolled
you
a nat one
seriously
at the
just
end of last
destroy
game.
a set of satellites outside the atmosphere of the world so that they come plummeting to the ground?
Oh, jeez, that must have been at least, 20 solar panels?
Yeah. Made out of hardened, sharded.
Good
So,
lord, guys.
so Lucky,
Yes.
you spool up the weapon,
Mm-hmm.
and you have your eye set on the side of a pretty chunky mountain range. You think this is fine. I'll aim right there. The mountain should absorb the blast. Perhaps there'll be a bit of debris. No big deal. And you let loose. Unfortunately, that calibration advice you were giving the kid wasn't quite as good as you were initially hoping back in the workshop. And as soon as you fire the gun, a much larger ball of plasma erupts from within than was anticipated. You see several excessive heat warnings flare into life across the weapons console, as well as a few localized sections of buckling. And then you see where your projectile is going. It hurtles forward and impacts with the side of the mountain just so that you can see several cracks beginning to form, and just portions of this mountain begin to slide down the face. Very unpleasantly, some begin to start tumble and roll. You've caused a rock slide on the side of a mountain face like 3 kilometers above the ground surface.
Oh dear.
Kid, it's time to go before we cause more problems.
I'm a con. What is that's so? Oh, that's a lot of error messages. What happened?
Does it look like it could pose danger to the ground mechanism? Or are you far enough away from the city?
You flew pretty damn far away on purpose to fire. So you aren't in danger of injuring any people in their homes or any infrastructure.
Okay.
But you are probably going to potentially damage a portion of the Zaza food source because they eat the microbes in the soil, and now big rocks are going to slam into the soil.
I'm going to see if I can quickly calibrate the weapon to fire lower charge shots and try and break as many of the big rocks as possible.
Okay. Roll
Calm
me
down, Garrus.
tech astronautic.
I
You got yourself into this mess.
did. Hey, that's a 9.
Okay. You think you can squeeze one more shot out of this gun, but it will not be doing any favors to the gun itself. It'll essentially be condemning the gun to another week of repairs in the shop before you can fire it again.
I basically want to try and lower the power as much as possible to fire off quick bursts if possible.
Yeah, there's not a lot of good lights coming from the weapon system at the moment.
This is a plasma beam, not a phaser.
This is a plasma beam. So you have one shot. It's not good. It's going to damage the gun further.
Yeah.
But you think you can make it.
I will aim for either the largest rock, or if I believe that I can shatter multiple with one shot, a central mass to try and
Okay.
do as much damage to it as possible.
Roll me combat gunnery.
That's better. That's a 10.
Okay.
Plasma beam to stun.
You can see like 3 pretty big rocks, like are kind of falling above a larger one. You think like right in between those 3 should be a good shot. So you line up. Once again, I feel like you have to temporarily take flight control back from the kid to be able to aim it, because the pilot and the gunner have to be pretty in sync, because you can't aim this gun without the pilot physically directing the entire ship in the same direction. So you take over control temporarily, aim it just so, and loose one more shot. And now the gun's readout panels just go blank and says gun offline, inoperable. But you watch through the external cams as the shot goes and shatters those 3 larger pieces into much smaller debris and crunches apart the even larger one. It's still going to cause a bit of an issue, but you have potentially offset a diplomatic incident. Because there's a treaty. Don't touch the Zaza's food source.
Don't fuck up the surface.
Mm-hmm.
Funny times with Lucky. Da, da, da.
I'm gonna get us banned from another planet.
No, you're going to get Catalina,
Keyword
like,
another.
absolutely thrash you, man. Oh, man.
Catalina is not going to find out about this.
If she ever does, you're in trouble, my dude.
I think everyone's going to find out about this when a whole bunch of rocks fall 3 kilometers up in the sky down to the ground.
Can I just say, this is one of the most Locky type shenanigans that could ever happen, and I'm so hip for it.
Lucky, what happened?
In a rare moment where Lockie is actually serious about something, he is going to maintain controls and fly us back
Okay.
calmly and safely.
Mm-hmm. Please roll me vehicle space to properly land.
On approach, he will get Dimitri so that Dimitri can walk him through it.
Okay, you may roll with a +2.
That is a good thing, because with the +2, it's a 7.
Okay, Dimitri, you get a call from Lockie probably 5 minutes after disembarking. So you finished your conversation with the ground crew about them making sure the shuttle's refueled and they'll take care of it, and your compad begins to ring.
Hello?
Hey,
Oh no, what have you done now?
No, this is it. I just need you to take me through landing. I'm not really good. I can take off acceptably, but landing's another story.
Where are you landing?
Hey, kid, where we landed?
The city?
That's very helpful, Einstein. Where? What landing pad? Like.
Oh, side hole. You know the same place we launched from.
Something I can relay to someone else so they know where we're landing.
So, I just have my learners.
I'm going to activate the Argus web to send him a live feed of where I'm landing from.
Mm-hmm.
Please tell me it's one of them crappy security cameras. Have you seen this man style?
No, it's the Argus web. It's full 360 cameras. So.
Ah, I recognize that ship. I've flown in those before. As you are not great at this, I suggest that you land from the top. It might cause some more issues for your little friend, but it is easier. Because it is just straight descent rather than weird flying down tunnel without touching sides and crashing.
Alright, so just down. Alright, let's try that.
Yes, you need to fly up above city, and then you need to... there is nav marker thing, and you just need to slowly descend onto that, and the roof will open for you.
He is going to attempt doing that. Despite the fact that he's seen it open 3 or 4 times now, he's still going to be shitting himself as he approaches the ground.
But based on your roll and with this very sound advice, the tower makes the ground yield before you, and you just carefully maintain your controlled descent and touch down. And as you're descending, with the air passing by you upward, you realize just how bad the situation is, as you can barely see the cavern around you for all the smoke coming from the gun underneath you, just passing by the cockpit and obscuring your view.
I will direct some ground crew to assist with maybe a hose.
They send 2 over. And Lucky, as you successfully, shakily but successfully touch down and open the cab, you take a glancing splash of water cannon shot to the face as they start hastily hosing down the entire gun.
Get some on him. He needs extra.
What? What you?
Yeah, that's better.
And you can see his dad. Again, at the controls of this hose, like expertly aiming it at his face. You're sure he's done this before.
I would like to mention Custom Blink has spoken. They are no longer Zaza. They are the Beeple.
Custom? No.
The blood must be alcoholic. I've got a buzz from eating one.
I mean this in the nicest possible way, but Custom, no.
Beeple is the nickname?
No, Zaza!
You could say that he's a Beeple person.
Catalina!
Yes, Catalina. Oh, Catalina is not doing so good. Oh, she is probably very drunk right now. Oh, yes.
Let's move it over to you, shall we?
First I want to go up to the cabin and pull this kid out and slap him.
Oh yeah, sure, fair enough. So you you hop from platform to platform, run over. He's currently dripping wet and is up to halfway up his body in the water that's just floating the cabin from the cabin. You scurry up the side, grab the front of his vac suit, and just smack it.
Ah.
Cool. I'm going to walk up to Lockie, hand him the macaroni head of his face, and say nothing, and just walk off.
Lucky, you see a conventionally pretty young girl just approach you, hand you a stunningly accurate rendition of yourself, but in macaroni, on a paper plate. and then she just disappears.
I love my life. I love this game.
He's just gonna stand there, just blinking for like a good minute, and just. Today's a weird day, man.
And what's especially confusing is you're wearing your armor. How does this person know that you're you? You've never met this person.
Yeah.
How do you even recognize?
Why do they have a macaroni model of my face?
Mm-hmm.
Why is it like every freckle accurate, even though it's made of macaroni?
Remember, we used a blowtorch and a soldering iron and other stuff.
Yes, you did.
He's just gonna just stand there blinking for a bit, and then just go sit down in a corner and just
Stare
have
at
a
his own
moment
face?
to breathe.
Okay. Dimitri, you see this kid pull his helmet free as the hoses finally stop, and he says, "Who are you? Why are you slapping me?"
I'm a Demodov, and you fucking like nearly ran into my ship up there in the sky. You fucking little shit.
He goes incredibly pale. Yes. Why is she mine? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. I don't want to have a house repossessed. Please, you're so powerful.
Where is your father?
Please don't my father. I'm in enough trouble as it is.
Considering most people make mistakes, can we just let this one go? I'd like to go and look for that tech I was talking about. Are you still good to, escort me?
Okay. Alright, kid, this time I'll let you free.
Okay.
Forgotten, but perhaps not forgiven. Yet.
Okay. As you kind of let go of the front of his back, so you see that his surname is it is woven into a patch over his chest. His family name is Popov.
Do I
I'm
know
going to raise a brow at this kid.
Do I know the Popovs?
In your purview, I'd say you've had the occasional encounter with this kid's father, just because, as a safety officer, he's responsible for disposing of unsafe things. And you probably had awkward staring contests where he tossed the thing into reclamation, and you immediately are pulling it out the other side.
Yep. I'm immediately going to turn the kid and mention some particular unsafe thing that I wanted a while ago and say, "Can you just get me that, by the way? Demidov wants it."
He says, Father Demidov, Father Demidov. He just runs off screaming.
You know, I've got to get my supplies somehow. I don't have any fucking money on this planet, so sorry about that, Dimitri.
If it's any consolation
What do you want?
Sorry?
What do you want? What is it you were trying to buy?
Well, that's just jet fuelant, but like a fucking lubricant for pistons. But I'm pretty sure it causes cancer, so it's probably been disposed of. It's kind of experimental tech that I think they threw out because of that.
Someone would have something that similar that you would need. It's fine.
Yeah, but the reason I want that one is because it causes cancer.
Okay.
Well, if I understand how it works with maybe if I approach Charles later, I might be able to make its effects go in reverse and maybe make an implant that can be more helpful.
You want a cancer-suppressing implant?
He doesn't specifically want that. He's just looking for a variety of abstract things because he's constantly looking at inventing new shit.
So it's if I put a nuclear reactor inside their body and the anti-cancer machine, they'll cancel each other out. Yeah, and they'll get a power supply.
Pretty much, yep.
Oh god, that's horrible.
I will inquire for you.
Oh no, I just want to see if that kid cashes in first. Don't worry, it'll be more amusing.
Okay. Subtle threats? Sure.
Wasn't really a threat. I know you've already decided to let him go. I'll go talk to his father later and say I requested it anyway.
You could try the same line and say that the Dementors want it.
If you're okay with that, I just might.
And he sort of smiles, big toothy, 5 more jaw grin.
I think you are smiling. Sure. Go right ahead.
Okay.
I like that. I think you're smiling.
Just because we haven't properly cut to Catalina yet, I'm gonna cut across and establish what she is doing. So, did you want to play out the conversation with the brother up in the forest, or
I'm happy to.
what?
If
Okay.
you'd like. I did a physical effect save. I rolled a nat 20, so she's definitely not drunk from that alcohol she chugged. A little tipsy,
Okay.
but she's holding herself together.
All right.
I just have ice cream now.
I had some too. I traded my Xbox controller for some ice cream from my house now.
That sounds like a fair trade.
Yeah. It was just a loan. She was all like, "Hey, can I borrow your controller?" Like during the break, and I went, "Oh, just grab it now." Anyway, Catalina,
Duh.
I'm gonna shake things up a little bit. Let's go. Forest Day.
Also, you guys and your puns, man. They're great. Keep them going. They're terrible, but they're great. Keep going.
It's like, what do you mean someone got pissed on and went, oh, hang on.
Hang on, I can find a.
There was some really good ones earlier, and I really wanted to interrupt and just like say them out loud, but I just didn't also want to interrupt. I was just like,
I appreciate your restraint.
That were good. That were good.
Wait. Give me a sec, just in case I get the right thing. What am I saying? You'll do.
It's fine. I have ice cream.
You are welcomed into the pagan chapel on Harbona. You just had a crying attack after you happened upon a monk's booze and just chugged it.
No tears.
Okay, just chugging booze.
Just one of her blackouts. She blacks out during these. She's not fully conscious of what she's doing.
Oh yeah, you had that mental effect last.
Yeah,
Oh, jeez, I remember now.
Because she was all like, "I'm in the hollowed out, shattered, broken remains of my family home. There's nothing left, and this is really sad."
She was just being nostalgic, you know, little emo kid. And then the feels hit hard.
I walk a lonely road.
So you are welcomed into what is not one tree, but dozens, if not hundreds, of smaller trees surrounding you, kind of interwoven and growing together into one big functional structure and collective. The exterior has a lot of small branches spanning off, but there's a massive canopy above your head with all these different interwoven trees combined into a temple of sorts in the center of the forest.
I imagine it to be a circle, kind of like the pagan sacred space.
Absolutely. I see a look of confusion or feels from you, Nick. Are you wondering if it should be different? If so, please let me know.
No, that's fine.
Okay, cool.
No, circles are good.
Circles are good. Circles are good.
Kind of towards the center of the circle, there is another smaller circle that is just hollowed out a little bit and is sitting a little bit deeper, and it's full of hay, and kind of arranged on the hay are a variety of cushions, and you are just and this brother gestures for you to take a seat on one of the cushions, and he gets situated on one opposite you.
She like hesitates for a minute. No, then like thinks back to like what has happened. She's like, yeah, I owe him this. Okay, and she like sort of really awkwardly sits down. Brother, I am. Is okay to call. Yeah, I'm really sorry. This is I've not been myself lately.
And I can see that. Would you like to talk about it?
At very least, I think you deserve explanation.
I'd appreciate that. My name is Brother Marco. What is your name?
It is a pleasure to meet you. I am Catalina Sokolov.
Sokolov family. Oh, okay.
Duh.
So, what brings you to my neck of the woods?
I was test riding new vehicle.
Da.
I ride it around old streets of Harbona because I think it is harmless. No one there. If anything go wrong with new vehicle is safest for everyone. Maybe it was bad decision to go back to my old house. Look, I don't remember the rest really very well. It's like dream. Sometimes I suffer from like blackout, but not quite.
Can you remember what happens prior to these blackouts?
I get really stressed, I think.
I have encountered this before. Believe it or not, you're not the first person to venture topside in the hopes of recapturing old, happy memories. And sometimes they stumble our way.
Well, I thought it would be fine, but it seems... Look, it's a long story. I don't know if you really want to hear all of it.
I have nowhere to be. I have done my chores for the day. Have you got somewhere to be?
She thinks about it for a moment. Shrugs and goes, well, thinks to herself, well, what could it hurt? And so she'll sit down and she'll tell him her story vaguely, like with only enough details that you get an idea of what's happened, but no specific locations or names or people, any identifying markers. She doesn't want to give anything away.
Okay, as you're talking, he's trying his best to radiate peace and calm and serenity to kind of offset your relative anxiousness, but he looks a little bit more concerned as you talk, and as you get to the part just after Dotek, he's like, okay, so you die second time on ship when friends run massive electrical currents through you?
Duh, and in process to do this so that I did not actually die and that my consciousness was preserved. It was taken from myself and put in a psychic being. For a time,
No.
it was very strange, It was another world experience. It was enlightening and freeing. It was very... like being child again. It was nice, actually.
I feel like you have been through considerable trauma in a relatively short amount of time. I am not qualified therapist, but you probably need one. Just amateur caregiving opinion. You need to talk to someone properly about this who isn't emotionally connected to you. I feel like even I may be a bit emotionally compromising, given that you are from here and you travel with and another one of my brothers.
That is fair. I have told all of this to my doctor. He is familiar, and he is.
You have spoken about him and his drug problems. He should speak to someone too.
Probably. Yeah, but it's okay. I'm okay. Honestly, there are worse things than almost dying twice.
Are you sure?
I will admit, it was easier to come to terms with my own mortality than, well, except that maybe Alec might be gone.
I have spoken to others who lost people in that crash. It was never easy. There are people out there now who are still searching the wreckage for the black box in the hopes of some closure.
Honestly, that is where I wish I could be right now.
What is stopping you?
I have not yet asked where it is, because I have obligations and responsibilities.
I feel like, for your own sake and for the sake of your health, you might want to set aside some of these responsibilities and focus on you. You need closure, and you need some semblance of peace if you're going to come to terms with what's been happening to you.
But I think it might be more important to deal with the living than the dead. Although I do not wish to believe he is gone, there is a higher possibility of this than his being alive. And there are people looking, as you said. If they find something, they will help.
It is okay. All I can do is offer my advice. For now, I suggest do your best to relax. You are welcome to come here anytime. We have many adorable fuzzy creatures that are all very friendly, save for a few. And you can.
I'm familiar. I have had a few adventures through here in my youth.
Well, by all means, take as much time as you need.
Thank you very much for your ears, for listening.
Anytime.
Yes.
I have to prepare for supper, but I'm sure I will see you again.
Yeah, I will come visit. I think it has been too long since I connected with my faith.
No. He stands and makes a appropriately religious gesture to his surroundings, given that he is in a holy place, and walks out. You just sit and be in the space.
She's actually gonna sort of set up almost like a circle. I presume that there's probably in this building there's probably like the 4 elements. The north, the south, the east, and west elements as part of a circle, and she'll pay her respects to each of them, just like make sure there's water in the water one, make sure there's a fire burning, make sure there's incense in the air one, make sure that there's sand or earth or something in the earth one, and and then she'll sit in the center and just meditate for a little bit.
These shrines are all well cared for, but you feel good that you took the time to check. Yeah, you just take a seat in the middle and just relax. Now then, who of the away team of Charles, Jin, Dimitri, and Pim are going where and how?
Oh, I believe Pim had a talk with Dimitri about locating and procuring pre-tech salvage. Any?
Yes.
I'm going to drag him around to all the junk shops.
Okay. I should have prepared this. That's okay. I'm a professional. And making up notes is what professional DMs do.
I feel like between Catalina's family and Dimitri's family, we would also know a bunch of really like high-end tech nerds who might be able to help out with the new.
So the junk shops, and then also the junk shops with the special stuff.
Most likely, yes. Dimitri, roll me culture Harbona. You have been away for a while, but do know some hookups.
Do I have points in that?
I would assume so.
I would assume you have at least 0.
It is how?
Yes, I have 0. That's 11.
11? Wow, okay, yeah.
That's pretty decent, yeah.
God damn. Okay. So, a lot of the tech shops you go to are looking pretty sparse from the get-go, purely because they have been folded into and co-opted into the war effort. So if you were smart enough to work in and run a tech shop, you've basically, a lot of these people have just volunteered their services and are now serving full-time, making things and fixing things and helping protect the planet. So your first instincts are like, maybe this guy, nope, it's closed. No, well, also closed. And you are walking around. You've got a directory of where all of these old shops are located now in the Undercity. And at your 4th stop, you get lucky and see that this person, who is himself one of the wealthier and more from one of the wealthier and more influential families of Harbona, is still in operation. But you didn't consider him sooner because he's a little bit eccentric and sometimes hard to read. But it seems like he is now your best option.
Ding-a-ling as I walk into shop.
Yes, it certainly has a ding-a-ling, and amusingly, as you open the door and there is a ding-a-ling-a-ling, a concerningly intricate Rube Goldberg machine spreading across portions of the walls gets triggered by the bell, and there's like marbles falling and dominoes and cards and carts just whizzing all about the place, and the final piece, which is a bowling ball, goes across the table and hits a big gong in the corner, and then you see curtains in the back go, and you see this figure. I am going to randomly generate him right now. Just a moment. Because I need some.
Would you look at that, Pim? I have not seen one of these machines in quite some time.
No.
Very interesting, but ultimately, why?
That is the point. It is to make the most complex machine to do a simple task.
Right. Like creating me so I can cook breakfast.
Duh.
This is Yuri Voloch. He is an older gentleman, He is quite short, at about like 5'4". Yeah, that tracks. He has dice. No, that doesn't make sense. Yeah, he only has the one ear, as there's kind of like a burnt off lump where one is, and as a result of this, has a very intricate monocle kind of mounted over the other side. It's like 3 separate monocles, like one accidentally getting further and further out. His hair is all big and up, kind of wavy and thin and pale, and he's wearing a old Harbonan military storm coat. So it's big and heavy and wool, and just goes, "Ha! I knew it! I knew it when we rushed it! It's set off! It's been 27 days since my last visit! Look at the calendar, but you're here! Hello?
Hello.
Welcome to my shop.
I'm getting flashbacks.
My name...
I must just. I love this machine. It is amazing. Did you make it yourself?
Yes, I did. My name is Yuri Voloch. How can I assist you?
My name is Dmitry Dimitrov, and I'm looking for stuff.
Oh, the Demitovs! Oh, what a family, the banquets back in the day. Oh, I could go for one of those right now. Anyway, what stuff do you want?
Old stuff.
I would like to look at most of your salvage, as well as all machinery, mechanical needs, and components that you have.
I have lots of old stuff. Could you
My
be
beautiful friend here, she has very specific needs for what she is looking for.
Well, if you like, I'm happy for you to peruse, but it's a bit rough downstairs if you catch my drift.
I think I'll be fine.
For it.
All right. I have upstairs some of the good stuff, but downstairs is a bit wild. And he kind of shuffles it out from behind the counter, and in kind of off to one side, he pulls open a hatch, and there's a ladder descending down. Now, from the outside, you saw that there were like a dozen shipping containers directly beneath this shop, all kind of attached together. So you imagine he has a bit of a cobbled together storage space underneath.
I'm gonna unclip my briefcase, pull out my nav comp, and pull out the scanner.
Okay. You begin scanning and exploring and descend into the nonsensical junk pile that lies beneath this man's shop.
I'm gonna look for composites that are not unlike the same composites of my original chassis, as well as the pre-tech components we've had before. I'm looking for specific alloys and specific, let's say, amalgamations that form what I associate pre-tech or pre-tech form.
Roll me.
I just realised I assumed that me and Charles would be going to the hospital at the same time, but
Yeah.
Ian did ask for us to come. Do we have time to head past here first before we head on there?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, cool. In that case, can I look for components as well?
Certainly. As you are calibrating your devices, Pim, Charles and Jin walk in the door behind you. The two of them weren't as confident about taking the zip line to get here, so they took a long way.
Yeah, fair.
What am I rolling?
Roll me tech pre-tech with wisdom as you are looking for stuff.
That is bloody good. Off to a good start.
Yeah.
Hang on. I have a negative to charisma, but my wisdom is 0.
Uh-huh.
And my pre-tech is +1. So
Nice.
that's 13.
All right. You will probably be down here for a while. Oh, no, Chris. Let me come back.
He's I took all the good components.
No!
Dastardly bastard.
There we go.
Good stuff.
He's back.
Those are the good stuff.
Okay. You are, even with that roll, you're probably going to be down here for a decent amount of time. There is some weird stuff down here. Some of it's still active, and it's throwing off all manner of convoluted signals. So you need to get pretty close to whatever you're scanning to figure out if it's useful. But you do get kind of, you're confident that you've calibrated your scanners correctly, and you begin to comb through. Jin, you walk into the shop with Charles and see this already activated machine on the wall and a very bizarre-looking man, like, making creepy small talk with Dimitri.
Have I been here before?
Probably not. You probably thought this place was abandoned because no one thought to point you in this direction.
Oh, okay. I'll just wave to Dimitri and go,
Hey, Dimitri, where's Pim?
He's downstairs in the below part, I guess, searching for what he's looking for.
Yes.
Usually he might have something upstairs as well.
I wonder if the dude's confused that Dimitri said he.
He doesn't seem to really bat an eyelid at that.
Okay.
It is the space future. A person going by various or pronouns isn't really a big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, cool. Look.
He did say that he has the good stuff upstairs, but I have not quite gotten to work out what the good stuff is.
Oh, this is the entryway. I've got a few fun things in here, you know, amusing knickknacks. And he shuffles over to a shelf, pulls a tarp off it, and there's like 3 white porcelain mugs on it, and he like picks them all up, sets them aside, and goes, "No, they haven't moved in years," and starts searching through a box beneath it.
Personally, I'm looking for, I wouldn't say no to, I know, some photos or a gun, you know.
What kind of gun? I have a few lying around that are mostly intact.
I like old things like revolvers.
Sorry, sweetie.
Give me a second. He's just running around frantically, throwing open cabinets and bureaus and just.
Fuck! This area is not with you.
He's causing a massive mess.
Hey,
He's just adding to the mess.
I'm on speaker, hang on.
All good. So, interesting things. Okay. He looks around for a few minutes, and he pulls out an old revolver. It looks as a piece of metal a bit larger than the one you're used to, and it is, functionally speaking, very beautiful. There's like it itself seems to be cast out of titanium, and has gold filigree kind of embedded on the side, all along the edges of it. There's like,
sorry about that, guys.
All good. There's like spiral patterns along the barrel, and the wood of the actual handle that you hold it on is a very finely polished ebony. It looks gorgeous.
That is amazing.
Oh, it's been around for years, you know. So sometimes things they find their way into.
Can I have a look, please?
Oh yes, it is not loaded, but if you are curious.
And what value have you put on this?
Give me a sec. I've got a switch. This is what you get when your GM chooses to improvise. Whoops. There you are. There we go. Okay. Hmm. Okay, yeah. That's amusing. Nothing wrong. Wait. Ooh.
As he looks through his old books and accounting
Yes.
software. And
Basically, just imagine
trying to
that
remember how I get. When did I get this? How much? I can't
he and
remember.
I are channeling the same energy. He says, to which cost you about, I don't know, 2,000 credits. It has a very neat trick if you'll expose the inside of the barrel.
Okay.
Like you rock the interior open to see how many rounds it holds. The reason the gun is a bit bigger than it should be is because this revolver can actually hold 12 shots as opposed to just 6.
There's a big.
Ah, look at that. The barrel is also rifled. That is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That's quite mastercrafted.
I will give you 3,000 for this.
That is 1,000 more than the asking price.
No,
Sold.
that is. Yes.
Mm-hmm. He will eagerly accept your money.
It's fine. It's a Demodov.
This is you just maintaining a reputation.
I'm going to look around as well.
Yeah, sure.
Just in the top room, because I assume this is where he keeps assembled stuff, and the bottom room is basically just parts and shit.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, that's sort of what I gathered. But in the top room is something that roughly fits a grip that could resemble my hand shape if I was to make myself a weapon.
Roll me a perception check, please, with wisdom.
Alice, can you do that? That's flat.
What would you like? 2d6s?
Yeah, flat.
Okay. That's 7.
All right. As nice as it would be to find something that would perfectly fit your hand, you don't see anything really jump out at you. However, there is something a little bit unusual that catches your eye. There is a weird small lump of like something that looks like clay, just kind of sitting on a platter, and right next to it is a little metal rod, and the metal rod is just touching the clay, and like you poke at the clay, it's hard. You take the rod and while leaving a finger in the clay, you take away the rod, and as soon as the rod breaks contact with the clay, your finger just sinks in. Yeah.
That's surprisingly useful. Fuck money. Dimitri? Do you mind covering me for a while?
Sure.
All right. Well, what is this stuff?
And I turn back to the guy.
Okay. It's like as you look at it, this is clearly the sample. There's maybe a jam jar sized jar of it just off to one side, and he says, yes, that is the I don't really know what to call it. I found it in an alley. It was a long story, and I was rolling around. It wasn't really an alley. I'm sorry. I'm trying to add mystique. I wanted to in the poker game with a scientist. It seemed cool, so I put it in the shop. He was really pissed off that I took his prototype. So he didn't really explain exactly what it is, but basically, you have the clay, and you can make it whatever shape you want in your hand, and then as soon as you apply the rod, it gets hard.
Right, and it can withstand quite a bit of force, I imagine?
If you like, I imagine if actually, I did shoot at it once. Did make a hole. It's not super strong. It just holds a shape.
That's pretty much all I need anyway. How much do you want for that?
Let me remember. It was like we're playing Pokemon. Yes, I had I was bluffing. Hand was garbage. He had it straight. I think that was like 1,000 credits is what that covered.
Can I give it a quick scan just to see what's exactly in play? I works on cybernetics.
Yeah, sure.
But, yeah. So I'll just pass over it with my vision.
Let's look at this gun.
It's a very simple design. It kind of builds upon what is used in other aspects of Harbona technology, where they apply current to a kind of magnetic soil to make it hold a shape temporarily. But this has been done on a much finer scale. So as opposed to making decently large granules form a rough crude shape, he's managed to create impressive custom particle that's quite a bit smaller and can therefore hold a lot more detail in the shapes it takes. It's fluid when you are handling it, but this small rod contains like a small source of power in the handle and basically applies a current to it when you hold it. It's not enough to really flow beyond the clay, but if you were to incorporate this into the design of something, you could just run power from the device into it and have it hold the shape indefinitely.
Yeah.
Can I get that, Dimitri?
Sure.
And there was one other thing I was after. Do you have any molecular filter skins? Like, just fabric that filters on the molecular level?
He leans over to Dimitri and says, I failed biology. I'm not sure what he's talking about.
He wants
Never mind. I'll
really
go.
fine cloth.
Don't stress. I'll go downstairs and talk to Pim. He might spot them anyway.
And I'll just walk past and start heading to the ladder.
Okay, he says, tell them to be careful. On the second container down, there's there's a thing.
A thing?
He'll know it when she sees it. It's fine.
Yeah, no issues.
I'll start heading down.
Hey,
And
Charles.
while I'm there, I'm looking for anything particularly small and valuable.
Okay.
Yes. Dimitri?
Charles,
What?
look at this inscription. This is a Kalishnikov. Oh my god, I'm so excited.
Big
Master weapon
boom.
makers of Earth. Oh my god, this pistol is potentially very old or a very good replica.
For something that old, it's not very advanced.
But it's mechanical and it will work forever.
Right. To each their own, I guess.
It's like watermill, I guess. As long as water flows, it works. Look, it's a thing with the family. Never mind. Yuri, what have you got upstairs?
That's where I live.
You said you got some good stuff. Like what? Like I don't want to know if it's like moldy plates and shit. That is not good.
I have maybe a few things. So here is the stuff that is intact and looks pretty nice. Downstairs is junk that it isn't really anything. Upstairs is my inbox, if you catch my drift. Haven't really gone through it yet.
Sure, give us a look.
Okay, sure. And he gestures to behind the curtain to a rather steep set of stairs that leads up into a very cramped attic. You know that that his family has clout and aren't sure why he's living like this, but he seems very at home.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I know exactly why he's living like this, because he's a hoarder.
Yes, he's a hoarder.
Oh,
But
that looks interesting, I'll buy it. That looks interesting, I'll buy it. That looks
Yeah.
interesting.
we will cut down to Pim, who is currently exploring below. You, after about 5 minutes of very patient approaching a thing, picking it up, going, no, 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 just going through things, and I imagine like pseudo tidying as you go because you've been in junkyards before and the disorder drives you mad.
That's why I said I had bad flashbacks. Yeah.
This is very flashbacky for you, except you are entering quite a bit later. So, you are able to get a ping on one of the alloys in your suite.
Okay. Of course, I'm going to scan it, approach it, and observe and identify. Yeah.
Okay. I feel like being silly because I can, and I'm going to let randomization guide my hand.
Always worked so well for us in the past.
Yes. Okay. One roll on the quick architecture table. Oops. No. Yeah. Yes.
No, we do not find a grav tank.
Okay.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
You find a frying pan.
A grav tank frying pan?
Wow.
A grab
This is-
pan frying?
This is a very interesting looking frying pan. It looks normal from a distance, but as you get close, it looks like the exterior of the frying pan has really finely, intricately crafted scenery in it. It's like this, and just based on looking at it, it looks like the center of the frying pan is a big circular ice rink, and the edges is like a winter festival with like very well replicated little details of like stalls, kiosks, and people all wearing fur coats and things. You're not sure what it's meant to do, but it's pinging the alloys you're looking for.
I'm gonna, for the reason I brought the data slab, is I'm gonna hook it up to the scanner, set up the data slab, run a diagnostic, and apply an electrical current to the frying pan.
Okay. You give it a scan, and you can see a lot of very interesting but dormant-looking alloys present within. And as you want, so you find somewhere that would be receptive to a current, and as soon as you apply it, the center of the pan begins to get warm. As the you see that a lot of these dormant features are on standby. Like the dormant elements are waking up and are active, but are waiting for some kind of input in the center of the pan.
Full circle race.
What?
Well, they're sitting there dormant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pim's going to input full circle race because it's an ice rink. Standard default. Commence.
Okay. Roll me computers. Because this has been designed in a certain way.
Intelligence?
Yes.
Sure.
Okay. You see something remarkable. As lots of tiny little people who are all really, really hot. Like, these tiny people are all heating elements of a sense. emerge from the sides of the market and begin skating around the center of this ice rink, leaving trails of heat behind them as they go.
This is definitely pre-tech, yeah?
This is a very fancifully designed piece of pre-tech kitchenware. And as you scan it, there is incredibly complicated layers of circuitry and machinery kind of in the layers and micro layers of the pan. This is
it
pre-tech.
enough to be used as salvage?
Yes.
Cool. For the purposes of what I'm trying to do? Okay.
This is one piece of pre-tech salvage, if you were to break it down.
I'm going to go, yep, this one. And that's it.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to purchase the frying pan. I'm also going to turn it off. I don't want anyone seeing it. I'm going to let it cool down a bit because I assume Jin's coming down.
Indeed. Probably like halfway through your search, Jin came and joined you. So, Jin, I will also ask you to roll me tech pre-tech with wisdom.
Can I use Alienware tech? Because that's what I'd be looking for specifically.
I will allow that too.
Yeah, can you roll, Ellis? It's
Yep.
base +2.
Oops. 6 and 4, so 10 plus 2.
12.
So you are looking for either your technology or things that would work with your technology, yeah?
Pretty much.
Okay. Probably going to be a no on the first one, because while this guy is an eccentric hoarder, there's no chance he's encountered any of your actual technology.
Yeah, figures.
But you do see a few things that give you pause. There's some... let's say there is a portion of hull. A semi-transparent portion of hull. And you give it a once over, and it looks like it's metallic, but it's a kind of alloy that has been created such that it can be somewhat seen through. It's
cool.
It's decently strong, could probably hold a current, and is very light. It makes you go, that could be a useful building material.
Yeah, I'll just look at that for a moment and go, and just roughly, could I roughly estimate how much he would let that go for, considering it's scrap?
It's the front half of some kind of cockpit, you think. So it's the glass portion of a cockpit, perhaps a test, and it's shattered. So clearly it was tested and wasn't fit for purpose, but you could probably use it for something a bit less physically intensive than
fair enough.
A crashing ship.
Yeah, no, valid. Okay, I'll keep that in mind, and I'll ask the dude about it when I head back upstairs. But
sure.
For the moment, Pim, just as I'm looking over, he said not to touch the thing on the right, second one down, something about being bad to touch. I'll look around. Can I see what he was mentioning?
Yeah, you can. It's a booby trap.
Oh yeah, probably that thing. And I'm going to throw a shard of something into it.
I'm going to step behind something big and heavy like a fridge.
Well, that's funny, because the fridge you step behind gives way and becomes a big swinging pendulum, and is in fact the trap.
Just like you're not being serious.
I'm being serious.
Oh god!
It just smashes into the wall near the front door.
Yep.
Yeah, probably that. I disarmed it. Hey,
I need to make a dexterity or like an evasion, don't I?
That's not how physics works.
No, you were on the other side of it.
Yeah, so you were at the... You hid behind it at the height of its swing, and then it let go. And even if it maintained a full conservation of momentum, it couldn't make it back to you, so you're fine.
yeah, see? Probably fine now.
For once, it wasn't me.
I mean, wasn't you what? Oh, you mean that wasn't...
Exactly.
Yeah, all right. What are you looking for in here, anyway?
I already got what I came for.
Cool beans. See that stuff over there?
Mm-hmm. I've cataloged what I can using this data slab if you want to go through it.
I'll have a brief glance, but that windshieldy shit over there, I've already asked Dimitri to buy me something. I'm a little short on money. Can I pay you back for that?
I also am short on money. I was going to scab from Dimitri.
We should probably go talk to him.
Probably.
All right then.
Dimitri's running a tap.
I'm going to come up with my frying pan.
And I'll just pack that windshield into a cardboard box or something that's around and take it upstairs.
Okay, cool.
I'm going to walk over to Dimitri
If I get this, I can make better pancakes.
and show it to him.
If I get
I'm
bit,
going to give him a wink so he knows that it's not just for pancakes, it's something important.
I, equally excited, will turn to Dimitri with that sort of see-through metallic stuff and go,
if I get this, I can make someone's brain case that they can see their brain through.
I'm excited by the first one and slightly not nearly as excited by the second one.
Or, you know,
Terrifying.
maybe like,
Look, he's fascinated
claws,
and you sound excited, so yes, I will buy it for you.
When we
claws
get back
that-
to the ship, look up serial killers, Jin.
Well, I mean, like, if you don't like that much and you think it's a bit serial killer, what about, like, I don't know, retractable blades that are camouflaged or something? Oh, that's still pretty serial killery.
Look, the first part is fine. From a scientific perspective, it would be really cool to see someone's brain without it, like, you know, being a bad thing.
Well, yeah, probably pretty useful. I mean, we could watch Charles have a full-blown meltdown on site.
Charles,
I don't. One, he's right here next to us,
Yeah.
and
yeah, I know. I'm like,
he would be.
We get
Yeah.
to see all the it does when he goes through that psychic crap.
yeah,
I'm not sure that Charles would be up for getting his skull replaced with some kind of portal.
Look at my
Charles.
brain, it is bigger than yours.
you found the booze cabinet in here. He has a few bottles of vintages you recognize. So like you're like, so it's a big up and down cabinet, and there is a door in between your upper body and their conversation, and you hear them talking about you.
All of a sudden,
I would have motioned over to Charles and pointed at him while doing it, because I haven't said anything insulting.
you see a gold flicker around him and his eyes start to glow and he's like, that is not happening.
All right. I mean, like, all right, what else cool
not
could I do?
Fine, you have a box full of broken glass and you are excited by it. I will buy it. It's fine.
Thank you, Dimitri. But I tell you what, there's gonna be something fucked up from this. In a cool way, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And the last thing is, if there's enough for like just regular components that are little things that you'll let me go just for the 4 soldiers that I'm building shit for.
I will give him my card. It can be up on tab and let's say 50,000.
No, I'm not going to spend anywhere near that on components.
I got
You-
that.
I'd say just down there, if you aren't digging for pre-tech and I'm just looking for cool post-tech stuff, it's easy to find good baseline components that would suit the
Other project.
projects you have in mind and would work very well. And basically, you can just like grab a crate and just like go, ooh, yes, that one. Ooh, yes, that one. And just spend as much time as you need down there grabbing all the parts you need. It's a smorgasbord for you, basically.
Yeah, I'll keep a tab of what I owe Dimitri.
Mhm. I'd say for each soldier, considering how much a regular piece of cyberware costs, and the fact that you're making it, I'd give it like 20k. 4 pieces.
All up or for each soldier?
All up.
Back,
Oh,
sorry,
okay.
guys.
Yeah, that's quite a bit. So are you okay with that?
Oh yeah, that's fine. What's the frying pan with?
Dimitri and Pim kind of approach the desk with a frying pan. He goes, "Oh, I'd forgotten about that. Find that."
I want to make food. I was looking for kitchen utensils for the most part.
Well, it is beautiful. I forgot about all the little fine carvings around the edges. Oh, this makes me very happy to see. It's very pretty. Like he holds in his hand and goes, "Oh, it's so light as well. I like it a lot."
It's one of the reasons I want to purchase it. Things get awfully heavy.
I'm sure you'll be fine with anything of any rate. I believe in you. Like moving around. I don't know. Make me an offer.
500.
No, it's too pretty for that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, clearly 1,000 credits.
Just getting a bit closer. Let's say 5,000.
How is 1,000 close to 5,000? That is ridiculous figure.
Have you never haggled before?
I mean, I suppose I would.
Like 1,000 to 5. That's not.
I mean, I suppose I haggle on lots of stuff.
Does he have any cyberware?
I'd say not.
No, roll a nat 1.
Bugger.
Well, I do a cooking show, so if I end up cooking, I can tell everyone where I got this frying pan.
And have it everyone trampling all over my shop. No, I would never be able to set up any more of those machines on the wall with so much foot traffic.
Oh, poo. How about 3,000?
How about 4,000?
2,000.
I said 4,000.
No, 4,000 is too much.
Well, roll persuasion,
How many
please.
pancakes do you think she needs to make for it to justify 4,000 credits?
You and Pim, please both roll me independent persuade rolls.
Oh, I've got a -2.
I will look around the shop for cyberware and offer to tune it up as well, if there's any here.
Okay.
Just do a check over and make sure it's working.
So, the total, including modifiers, 0.
Mine is like 4.
Oh my god. He just gives you a death stare and says, 4,000.
Is there anything on the shelves that I could quickly do maintenance on?
Make me a luck save.
Can you luck save for me, Alice?
I can't believe I didn't see that for a fucking frying pan.
I can't. Someone else have to be. I have been catnapped.
Dimitri, can you roll a luck save? Because you're the only person who has it equal to mine.
Yes. What is my luck save?
Yeah, I'm not at my computer. I don't know. I think it's.
No, I cannot. It's a 9.
Okay.
I have a cat that's decided to settle on my one thigh.
I will turn to him and just go, if you've got any cyberware or anything like that, I usually charge 2,000 credits roughly for maintenance. I could do a quick maintenance session on any junk you've got lying around so you can sell it for more.
Interesting. You are far more persuasive than these two. I'm sorry, Mr. Demidov, but you know money talks, and I like money.
Yes, I suppose. Look, I'm taking $20,000 credits worth of shit from downstairs from you as well.
How much? Ooh.
Well, it's probably about 20,000.
I hadn't given that a look yet. Hang on a second. Shuffles over. As you pay more attention, you can see that his big military winter coat is dragging along the floor. It's clearly not actually his. He gets all up on the things you've chosen, Jim, just pouring over, going, huh? Maybe I could give you small discount for bulk order, you know.
Oh, really? Just smaller discount?
I'll take 1,000 off the frying pan.
Okay, so that's a $2,000 frying pan.
$3,000 frying pan. I pay attention.
And can I work off some of the costs?
No, we will just most likely be back next week to buy more stuff.
That's true.
If you really want to, I have like this, and he looks down behind the counter, pulls out a very unusual looking thing that Jin. I feel like you're the only person who recognizes it immediately. This is what you would guess is the human equivalent of an immunofiltration system, or rather, it was. So basically this nullifies and suppresses any hostile poisons and diseases that get introduced to the human body. So it's basically got a centralized core and has a variety of probes and devices that would connect to and hold organs and help filter them and keep the person healthy.
Okay,
Really weird.
I'm going to make a deception check here because I'm totally lying.
Mm-hmm.
I can totally repair that, but I'll need to take it back to the ship because there's more tools on board there.
You gonna rob this man?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, sure, go for it.
God damn it.
Alice, can you roll that?
Yes, now I can. Oh, gosh, I can. Oh,
Components I need just popped up in front of me.
Uh-huh.
9 plus my charisma is +1, and I think my persuasion is base 0 or 1. You might need to check me on that, Rory. Sorry.
Doesn't matter. He rolled lower.
I can totally repair that, but it's gonna take me a bit of time. I can get it back to you in a few weeks.
He like
knowing we'll be long gone.
he like squints at you and says, "Maybe."
I mean, one of those on the market is worth at least 20,000 credits. If I fix it for you, you can sell that for a decent price.
Yes, but if you're wandering off with something worth that much money and I don't know you, I would maybe allow you to do this as long as you give me a fair collateral to guarantee you a return.
What do you want in collateral?
And I open up my pre-tech toolkit and choose the least valuable tool in it that I probably custom made previously, so it just looked like space alien junk.
Man is a hoarder. And if you're a hoarder, new weird stuff always trumps old weird stuff.
I'm specifically going to hand him something that's like an old tool that I was working on that's clearly junk to me.
Yeah. Like, this is a tool that is ridiculously niche. You picked it up for like that one part of the body that you aren't even sure if humans even have.
And realized later on that they don't.
Yeah. You're like, oh,
They don't have a gargle schnook.
Yeah, basically. Why do I even need this anymore? It's irrelevant to my job. He goes, ooh, like goes to like snatch it from your hand.
I'm immediately going to move back and go, hey, delicate. And I'm just going to like look around for a piece of cloth, place it on the cloth, and then pass it to him.
Okay, he takes your cue and handles it with a lot more deference and goes, what does it do?
It's a spike drive manipulator basically for one of the smaller ones. It's medical equipment for intonation of complex cyberware.
Roll me another deception check. John's like,
Alice.
Me? Okay, I'll just roll new dice. It's the one with numbers.
Yeah, fair.
9, again.
He gives it a look and goes, this could be so useful for the war effort. I'm sure someone could... No, it's collateral, but if you don't come back, I get to keep it.
And I sort of feign a look of concern.
I mean, you promise you'll look after it and won't get it stolen?
Of course. And he like picks it up. walks over to like a very nicely carved wooden box. Probably the same box he got the revolver from, and just like places it right in the center and like pats the fabric around it down flat, and then
Dimitri, Pim, and Charles might notice simply because they've been around me enough, but I'm smirking my ass off right now as he's put the equivalent of an old toothbrush in this fancy case.
I'm getting serious IT crowd moments where he's like, "This then is the internet."
He's like, "I believe you."
All right, then. Well, if you're okay with that, I'll have this back in probably a month.
You did a few weeks.
Yeah, a month is a few weeks. 4, to be exact.
Touche. Fine. And he slides it across the table and says, "But I know people. I know the Demidovs. I'm sure one of the Demidovs knows where you live."
Oh, don't call them on me. I hear they're terrifying.
And I just like chuckling to myself as I take my stuff, smiling out.
May
Just
I
like,
have my friend?
Terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Like, did you see that kid on the spacecraft? He got the shit slapped out of him, right? Like, just...
I'm glad you did that just before I took a sip.
It was a run by slapping.
Oh my god, this party has the best energy. He says, "So, 23,000 for everything?"
How much?
23,000.
Yeah, I can do that. That's fine.
Okay. You swipe it over. He accepts it and goes, "Oh boy.
Maybe now you can buy a new coat.
I love this coat."
I kind of like
maybe
it too.
just, like, get it.
Pim's just gonna leave. Like this exchange is over. Pim's gone.
Yeah, I'll follow Pim out, and I'm just like laughing the entire way as I walk behind him.
Just cackling, going, "I have the thing I wanted."
Yeah.
So while they were all in there, I was
Yeah.
checking one for any sort of medical pre-tech,
Mm-hmm.
and 2, yeah, if there was a liquor cabinet that might have had Elfstis whiskey in it, I was looking at that.
He is. You're fine, Dimitri. You're fine.
Only.
Jesus Christ! I'm pretty sure that is like 3 times the amount of credits I got.
I haven't spent it on anything.
I have 25 credits.
I have almost 7,000.
I keep lending money out to Lockie to buy really expensive guns.
Yeah, I have none.
20,000.
Maybe saving up the parts,
another 15,000 for scrap so we can build a mech. Like, every time I get paid, it goes into the Let's Fuck Shit Up fund.
Oh, Charles is flush though. Look at that. 220,000 credits.
Well, I had about that before. I think it was 217,000, but
Yeah, because he got paid. He actually did really high-end work.
And doesn't spend it.
Teach him how to budget.
No. Anyway, Charles.
Yes.
You were like initially in the liquor cabinet, and you're correct. You do see, I'd say 2 bottles of very fine Alfdis alcohol. One is a whiskey, and one is a. I'll say one is a port.
Oh, I thought you were gonna go with like brandy or something. Or
I
cognac.
use a bioscanner to get the chemical makeup of them to make sure that they're actually what it says.
Yeah, go for it. Roll me tech medical.
So a.
What is this cat doing?
Would it be perception?
Yeah.
So
it's in a
wisdom.
box.
So 9.
What explanation do you need?
10.
She's trying to liquid
10?
herself further into
Yeah.
the box.
Both of these are at least 20 years old and are indeed the genuine article. These are collector's items alcohol.
Perfect thing to take home.
Hmm.
I'll look at the guy and just be like, how much for those 2?
Are those? He's searching through his notes. I'm not. I've had them for a while. He like gives you once over. He notes your fine attire and says, 5,000.
You're trying to overcharge me. I
What
get
makes you
that
say
you
that?
think that because I'm wearing this, you can. Relay those thoughts.
So you're not wealthy?
Oh, I'm wealthy enough.
Then pay
But
5,000.
No.
Fell for that one.
I will give you 4,000 for the bottles, 2,000 each.
Roll me persuasion, please.
It was an 8 and goes down to a 7.
Okay, he says, 4,500.
I guess if you're so hard done by on cash, I can give you that.
I like money, and money buys me more opportunities to find
Rubbish.
treasures. Don't you?
Finding treasures, do you have anything like this? And I roll up my sleeve to reveal my telekinetic sling. Oh, actually, no, I press the button. Ha!
His eyes go wide, and he goes, "Where did you get that?" And like, in an instant, he is back around the counter, has both hands on your arm, and is like, "Ah."
I wouldn't try anything stupid. I haven't been able to take it off since I got it.
I saw it in the back.
You were not taking my arm. Maybe it might do you better if I give you a little demonstration of what it can do. As I grab something that's like small, apple-sized off the counter, shove it on the telekinetic sling, and then just launch it.
I've got
Down
a
the
sword
hole.
in the back.
So at this point, Pim has left.
Apple-sized grenade.
So is Jin. You grab one of the 3 white ceramic mugs on the shelf next to you. Just go fire it across the wall. It shatters, and he goes, "Oh no! Well, no one was buying the thermalodic mugs anyway. That's fine."
You threatened to cut off my arm.
Same if something happened to your shop. Jesus Christ.
You don't have to pay for that.
I will give you 10 credits for your mug.
Fine.
Now, do you have anything like this? Or any sort of medical equipment?
Like that? No. But I've seen one.
Where?
Give me a sec.
Alice, quit it. You're making me dizzy.
What? Oh, sorry. Wait, the rocking or the twirling of the fingers?
Ah,
Yes.
Sorry,
Yes.
ADHD, man. I'm really struggling.
I know, okay.
Have I
trying.
ever heard Charles say he can't take that off in front of me?
No, and you haven't since because you left the room with Pim.
Yeah, I'm just asking because I might be able to help with that if I ever heard that.
The thing is, Charles hasn't been able to hasn't tried to take it off since his abilities have advanced because
Yeah,
he
fair.
likes it.
Hang on. What am I looking for? Why is that highlighted?
I don't know.
Hang on.
Hey,
You are asking a lot of weird questions, and I'm diving deep into the archives of the book for this. Hang on. If I check the weapon section. Oh, I was just there. Oh, there we go.
They're not worth that much.
Oh, there we go. He says, I once knew a man, crazy man, absolutely wild. He walked around carrying a hilt with no blade. He got into fights sometimes. He pulled it forth. He cut. Nothing happened, and yet the person was wounded.
Right. I would know what that is, wouldn't I?
That sounds to you like a mind blade, like a talented telepath is able to manifest a blade that comes from this hilt, and it's made of telepathic static. It has no tangible substance. If it touches someone, it deals
1d4 plus 1 damage for each level of the welder's telepathy discipline.
Yep.
The damage takes the form of shock, disorientation, and ultimately unconsciousness. The Mind Blade will not kill a subject brought below 0 hit points by it. The static field created by the Mind Blade suffers only minimal disruption by armor, and all attacks made with it are at a +3 to hit.
Yeah, so
no effects on robots or inanimate objects.
It doesn't deal massive damage, but it has a pretty kick-ass bonus to hit.
Yeah.
So he just told you a story about this one time he saw a guy with one of those things.
And was he on this planet?
Yes, he was. He was a very fancy man, you know. Lots of pomp and circumstance.
What was his
also
name?
from Elftus.
His name was
Ben.
His name was Carlos Carvin.
Right.
And,
Wait a minute.
and you've
minute.
heard the name Carvin recently. That is the same family that runs the fine tailor establishment that you went to not a week prior.
I thought it was related to Raul.
No. Carlos Carvin.
Don't mention Raul, that little piece of shit.
Yeah, I don't actually think he did anything wrong to you.
You told him his sisters were alive and you went to find them. How is that a problem?
Cause she hired him to do a damn job and he fucking didn't. And she's mad at him because
he tried.
Her brother,
he didn't get there in time.
Exactly, and she's mad because her brother never got her last message.
Anyway,
I didn't say it was justified. I'm just saying that's
Karen.
a reason.
We'll continue the game, Karen.
It's not that she doesn't understand. That doesn't mean she's not mad.
I like how we've finally found the Space Kingsman.
Oh, yes.
Wait, what?
So that's all you know? You don't have anything else of import? Any medical equipment?
No. That I had a bit back in the day, but I had no idea how any of it worked, so I got rid of it.
To who?
He points out the window.
You threw it down a hole?
Yes, I did. I kept making loud beeping noises, I don't know.
There was probably a reason for that. You should have gone and asked the hospital.
I failed biology, it's fine.
I don't know about you. That's probably not the only thing you failed, but anyway.
I don't know. That's not exactly something you say and then just go, it's fine.
This NPC is an absolute mess.
Like, Giles is like sort of flaring around the edges and he's just like,
love it.
Whatever. Here,
Like,
the money.
you set the bar low and he fails to meet those expectations.
Yeah. I swipe him across his money for the bottles and his cup.
I was hoping you'd say I slap him across his face.
I used telekinesis to grab the bottles from the cabinet and float them into my bag and just sort of close my bag. Like, well, I'd like to say it's a pleasure doing business, but bye! And walks out the door.
What a nice man. Okay. There's something I need to do.
Oh God, no.
Then that
Always
is
worries.
Chin.
cut back to Catalina.
Oh no.
We're still in our period of downtime. You've
Yes.
finished with your meditation. You've spent more time with your father, and you have collected the equipment you were looking for from a certain scientist. You packed a bag, and you have persuaded Tazi to fly a cargo lighter for you to take you roughly where you want to go.
So when she's sure that everyone else is preoccupied, like maybe today,
Yeah.
And she takes the motorcycle with her on a test drive, like today.
Sure.
She picks up that equipment and hopes to be gone before anyone notices.
Okay. You hop on in, and as Tazi gets situated at the control, she says, "Are you sure about this? I hear we're flying into contested space."
Sorry, I read Mikhail's message. I made a mistake. It will be fine. Just fly non-threateningly.
Oh, so you mean fly casual? I'm sure that that's worked out for everybody who said that.
Look, I will make sure I am on the comms, and if we get intercepted for anything, I will do my best to communicate. I have the appropriate equipment. And she, like, taps her big bag or suitcase next to her, which Tazi has no idea what's inside. It's just a big suitcase, and she just taps it.
Minimize Discord. Thanks,
Yeah,
Mikhail.
literally, I have to make it go away. God damn it, Mikhail. Okay. It should be fine. I'm hoping this trip will only be short.
Okay. You know, as the door behind you closes and the engine begins to warm up, she says, "You know, if we die, it's a very short trip."
We will not die. If worst happens, just say Catalina Sokolov is here to see Anna Sokolov.
No, I was more concerned about being shot by the Yakutans on the planet, but sure, that's fine too.
The Yakutans won't attack us. That's fine.
Won't they?
Why would they attack us?
Because we are not one of theirs.
Could I arrange for our ship to have a local identification?
It already does.
Oh, okay.
So it things out as a Harbonan ship, which will mean the Yakutans on their base on the other side of the planet, which you're getting near, will see it and will probably go, "Oh, that's Harbonan. I might shoot it."
Right. I didn't realize. I heard Harbonan instead of Yakutan. Sorry.
No,
That's
all
where
good.
the mistake happened. We should be able to avoid the Yakutans. We are not quite going there.
Famous last words.
Look, just go to this location, and she pulls it up on her little map and goes, just here.
Good.
It is...
Tower, this is Tazi entering coordinates. And and after a bit, you hear back. Roger that, Daisy. Please check in every half an hour, or assistance shall be sent to your location. Over. She goes, copy that.
Catalina taps her shoulder. Let them know to ping ahead that we're on our way.
Apparently we have to ping ahead. That's negatory. Daisy, that is not possible. Over.
Catalina just shrugs.
Okay. And you launch. This journey takes you about 6 pretty quiet hours. Tazi is not doing a very good job at maintaining communication. She's still low-key mad at a lot of the crew, yourself included, and her sass is coming through. But you are able to make it to
Actually,
near the location.
On the trip, Catalina tries awkwardly to try and make amends a little bit with Tazi, because she feels very guilty. Like, this is very much her fault. And she will, at some point...
She holds a grudge, man.
Yeah, that's fine. She's allowed to. Catalina will be like, so... I don't think I ever really, apologize for... Look, I know you're, mad at Lucky, and probably the rest of us too. It is absolutely justified, but, you know, we didn't have bad intentions. That's not helpful. You know what? Here, have this. You might find some fun in this. Maybe you can play prank on someone. I was going to give it Pim, but I think...
Are you giving Tazi a doer?
Huh?
Like, what are you giving Tazi?
I'm giving her the thermal mug.
Okay, like...
The programmable mug.
The thermalotic mug.
Yeah, thermalotic mug.
Okay. She turns on autopilot for a little bit, checks over her shoulder, takes it from me and says, "What?"
It's, it may be small. Look, you don't have to take it if you don't want to. You can like program it to make sounds and noises when someone drinks from it. It has, you know, like thermal temperature gauges in it. It's, look, very old joke in Harbona. We found one stashed in my father's. Anyway, I thought maybe you might be able to have some fun. Payback. She, like, sheepishly looks.
No thanks. And she hands it back.
That is fair. I'll give it to Pim. He'll appreciate this. Puts it away.
After a few awkward minutes of continued flying, she says, "Look, I get what you're trying to say, but also I kind of need to be mad right now, you know? It's healthy-ish."
Catalina just sort of like very sheepishly in the corner in her chair. She's like, I've learned that being mad doesn't really help anything, but maybe makes good point.
Well, it's a first for me. I've been pretty kind and loving most of my life. Look where it's gotten me.
Look, I definitely
I've been betrayed, I've been used, I've been abandoned. Maybe I should toughen up.
Catalina just like leans over to her. Let me just tell you that being tough doesn't really make any of that go away. And she just kind of like sort of like implies herself. Being kind is more valuable. It is harder to find in this world. But
it's also a lot easier to lose.
No, I think you just have to know where to put your kindness and where your boundaries are. If you have firm boundaries that you don't let people cross, people cannot overtake your kindness. But you can choose to give your kindness where it is deserving, I guess.
What emotions have you been showing from your hair this entire time, Catalina?
It's probably been a slew of, like, pretty miserable.
Okay.
She's been...
She has been like splitting her focus when she has been seeing you between eye contact and hair contact. And after taking a moment to probably let your words sink in, she says, "Maybe you're right. I'll see how things go."
Look, you are entitled to your upset, but don't lose who you are because of it. You are a good person. We are just shit. And just like Catalina just like leans back and just like, we're shit.
Trying to take this seriously with the Russian mafia theme going.
Shut up, you. It's the ballet, excuse me.
Okay. You are able to make it to a relatively safe landing spot. Tazi plays it very safe and parks you a decent ways away from your intended destination, kind of in between the meeting point of two mountains, and says, "I'm going to stay here."
That is perfectly fine. That's what the bike is for. I will go the rest of the way on my own.
Okay? You know the way?
Duh, I have coordinates. If I'm not back... how far is it from here to there?
Like a 2-hour drive?
Alright. If I'm not back in... No. Is communication blocked or a bad idea?
From this range, there's no properly planet-wide comm system because satellites will have been shut down, so once your compounds are more than 30 k's from each other, they can't talk to each other. So when you drive for a full 2 hours away, you are out of range because you haven't got a comm server to boost the signal.
Yeah, okay. If I am not back, we'll say 6 hours. No, that's too long. It will take me 2 hours to get there, 2 hours to come back. Approximately from this location. 5 hours? Is this okay?
Okay.
If you hear nothing, go get help, okay?
Okay.
I can always come back and go back again if need be.
That's for the best.
Duh, I keep this trip short. Do you need anything? Sorry.
She pulls a trashy magazine out of her back pocket and says, "I'm fine."
Okay. Yeah, duh, okay. I'm gonna go. And she, like, puts on her... Like, she opens up her suitcase. Puts on all the equipment. Because, realistically, motorcycle, like, gear isn't gonna actually provide her with extra armor. Actually, I have borrowed the... assault suit. Aha! I have temporarily acquired an assault suit.
You wouldn't have been able to just fit that in a carry case, unfortunately. If you wanted to bring it, you could.
The assault
Iron
suit?
Man did.
I would have been wearing the assault suit if I was bringing it.
Okay, cool.
But I don't think the equipment fits on top of the assault suit.
Correct.
Yeah, so she wouldn't have bothered. She'd leave the assault suit behind. So she's gonna put on the equipment. And so her AC goes back up to 4. And get on the bike and head off.
Okay.
She's gonna try and be as subtle as possible. And as cautiously as possible, but yeah.
Do I have anything more appropriate as a soundtrack?
This
For
has been such a funny session so far.
yes.
Like-
You need highway to
Hmm.
the danger zone.
No, let's try this. Yeah, that works. There's a decent headwind as you ride out across the dunes, and you feel that the bike beneath you roar into life. You haven't had a proper chance to see it do this, but as you take off down the side of the mountain and begin to chart your course, you can see the loose, shifting red soil beneath you kind of solidify as you drive. You're basically creating a road as this big, chunky tire kind of straddling goes and goes and goes. It's a very interesting experience just riding along for so long. And since your body isn't quite used to it, there's the occasional, like, my back, I've got to stretch, but like, also, I'm not confident enough on this thing to do it safely, so there's awkward, like, moments of shuffling and stretching while also continuing to drive.
Yeah, 2 hours with that backpack and like headgear on is gonna be so annoying. Yeah.
But you are also aware of the fact that this is the closest to your mother you have been in a long time. And every second you drive forward, it is a session closer to having to confront that part of your past. And those thoughts swimming in your head do tend to culminate at a certain point. About an hour in, can you roll me a mental effect save?
Oh, fuck.
There it is.
Oh, fuck.
Buzzing in your mind to
There
get
it
the
is. Oop, there it is.
Really, Dave?
It's fine. It's a 16. It's fine. It's
Okay.
fine.
You're able to hold your nerve. You've done as much prep as you can, and you feel like you'll try your best to have a conversation with her. You keep on going, tearing across the sands until eventually you come across what seems almost like structures. Weird forms kind of poking up out of the dunes, and as you pass by, it looks not dissimilar to what the Zaza are able to 3D print with their bodies. Given that they are nomadic people, you would imagine that these are temporary structures or just small, simple things that they put together for temporary shelter as they roam from place to place. You've probably seen shapes like this at school and in museums in the past.
It's a yurt shaped like a hive.
Yeah, kind of. And you continue to thunder on by. Yeah?
Yeah, continue. It's all good.
As you drive closer still, you see more of them. But they are damaged, shot at, some exploded into pieces. It seems the closer you get to wherever they are, it's getting closer to the front lines. And you now fully feel like you are driving into a war zone. As you drive on, you can see the wreckages of Yakuten jeeps buried in the sand, other war machines just discarded. You even see very, very faint tracks from another vehicle that looked to be recently smoldering in a ditch you drive by. It's getting pretty intense. But it seems the Zaza are doing what they do best. They have kept this area safe and are containing the Kutans in a certain perimeter, regardless of their attempts to escape it. And just as you come across the horizon, you see them properly this time. You can see an entire swarm of Zaza. They're gathered up against the face of a mountain, like a curved face, and there is a bit of a bowl kind of in the center of where they are, and you can see what you probably recognize as feeding. You draw closer, and you can see them all scuttling on all six, scooping up the soil inside themselves, and their thoraxes and abdomens are shifting and twitching, and after a while, you see more spit it back up. And while previously in your youth you were used to a very serene and beautiful artistic expression from Zaza with their creations, you see something a bit more intense. There's several of them with bandoliers of short monoblades like across their backs, and one by one they pull off a blade and basically print a full spear shaft with their mouths, and then put it in a back holster, and then do it again. There's others preparing armor, basically just vomiting on themselves and leaving armored plating on their arms and legs and bodies. They are both eating and gearing up for future combat at the same time.
Ew.
Yep. They're a delightful
Kinda.
species.
Mm-hmm.
They're super cool, but alien. Very, very alien.
And as you get to a certain point, you see some of their perimeter scouts notice you.
She'll get off the bike. Like, she'll stop the bike and get off the bike as she gets closer.
Okay.
And she'll wheel the bike across. Like, she'll walk.
Okay. As you walk, you can see them, the perimeter guards, kind of exchanging words. They're kind of gesturing to each other as you approach, and
Is my translator talk close enough to be able to pick up on?
no,
Okay.
not quite yet. No, Mikhail, no, not right now. But also, yes, definitely yes.
I minimized it. I couldn't.
Good call.
No regrets.
Mm-hmm. You get close enough when they start to advance on you. About half a dozen of them have begun to advance on you, as a good number of them that see you coming are no longer eating and are now just preparing for any potential problems. These six kind of scurry across the sand. They move almost like those really badass looking lizards that can just run on water. Like the way that their legs move across the dunes is kind of akin to that. They're able to easily spread their weight and move very effectively and nimbly. This is, of course, their home terrain. And
Whereas,
they get
like, Catalina's like trudging through the sand
Mm-hmm.
with the bike, and the bike's wheeling okay because obviously the technology, but she's trudging.
Mm-hmm. And these six Zaza get right up next to you, form a semicircle in front of you, monoblade tipped spears out in front of you, and you see one kind of articulate with just the antenna and the mandibles. Who are you?
She will just respond simply, Catalina Sokolov. Instinctively, she'll say it out loud, but the translator talk will project that.
Indeed.
And she'll do the sign language she knows best.
Mm-hmm. Okay. The one that spoke first plants the spear in the soil and begins to articulate with more words and says, why have you come?
She just simply put, looking for Anna Sokolov.
There's a pause. Those also kind of exchange glances. This one says, what have you heard?
Catalina says, just respond with, nothing.
Okay. They part and walk alongside you, spears at their sides but not out threateningly, and they basically escort you the rest of the way towards the swarm. You get up to the lip of this dish they're in, and as you look across the crowd of them, most of which have now returned to feeding, you don't see any noticeable standout figure in this swarm that could be your mother. They all look so similar to each other. They're all just feeding.
At this point, Catalina is expecting her mother to look exactly like a Zaza, so, she's not surprised.
Okay. They lead you further into...
Exactly, from a distance, at least.
Indeed. If you get close enough, you'll probably be able to make out more fine details, but from a distance, yes, probably indistinguishable. You get closer and closer. As the Zaza are escorting you, kind of articulate to those nearby. They kind of part because they kind of sense the importance of what's about to happen, and there's more gesturing, and your equipment kind of begins to register various scents going off from around them that ping as anxiety and anticipation. So there's a buzz in the air, quite literally, as you are advancing ever closer. And you see, as you get closer, that one of these Zaza doesn't look quite right. The carapace is spray painted metal. The small vestigial wings are finely crafted solar panels. The antennae are also antenna, a radio antenna, and you come upon this person who is on all six, just combing through the soil and extracting food. You see absolutely no human features whatsoever.
She just waits. She's not gonna initiate anything. She's gonna wait. She's not in her home territory. This is their territory. She 100% is gonna wait for permission to do whatever it is that she's allowed to do.
Okay. You wait, and while all the rest of these Zaza are 3D printing stuff, you suspect, based on what's happening, that the near perfect Zaza facsimile technology that your mother is sporting cannot pull off that level of detail. So she stands up, and a port opens at the back of her, kind of under the thorax, and as opposed to splitting it back out into shape, it just gets left behind as conventional waste. And as she stands and kind of shakes herself off, she looks around and just sees a lot of the Zaza are all looking at her and looking at you and waiting themselves, and she just looks across. Now that she's standing upright, you can see that she seems to be wearing a helmet with the big, long eyes running down the length of the helmet with the built-in mandibles. But it's not eyes, it's tinted plexiglass, and you can just barely see through them. Human features. You can see portions of her face and eyes. She looks quite badly scarred. And she just looks at you and is still. She has no idea what to do either, but she sees you. Are you metallic looking?
Yes, and she's gonna take that moment to turn herself back into what she should look like, because she forgets and goes, Mama, it's Catalina. It has been some time. Take a point of system strain.
Okay. She's paralyzed in this moment. It's just, she is looking up at you, and the system you're using does kind of register a few like fractions of words, probably like subconscious twitches from the system she's using, like, what? Huh? How? She's processing, and looks very anxious and like awkward.
We talk?
Your system reads that she says, how are you here?
Long story.
She says,
I brought Annie home too.
your suit registers love as a smell, and she says, you heard about me?
Catalina just nods.
And you came anyway?
Catalina drops the illusion and goes back to her metal form with her fiber optic hair that's like absurd colors, and just shrugs. We're not so dissimilar.
She takes a step towards you, and then another.
Catalina just holds out her hand.
The way she's approaching you is kind of akin to someone approaching something that they aren't sure is real.
She holds out her hands.
She like gets closer and closer and then like gingerly touches your hand. She doesn't have physical hands anymore. She has metallic split Zaza digits, so a thumb and two big chunky sharp fingers. She reaches out and like takes a bit to commit to the touch, and as soon as she does, she grabs hold, pulls you in, and then hugs you with all four arms.
Catalina like at first like freezes, and then hugs her back because she wasn't expecting that. She was startled.
At this range, you have no idea what she's saying, but she is continuing to hug you.
Yeah. The translator can't talk, can't understand what's being said if it's not in visual range.
Yeah.
But she'll just hug. And she'll just hug her happily.
Yeah. And that is where we're going to end tonight's session.
Fair, because that's so much for me to take in right now. Oh, man.
I'll wait 5 minutes before I start making jokes. That's how long you've got, Alice.
That's how long I've got? Oh, man. Don't you ruin this for me, Mikhail! Don't you ruin this!
I am doing my utmost.
To compose yourself at this very serious moment.
It's been a
Where-
very big moment for Catalina.
After all this time, after 90 sessions, King Catalina is aware of the state of almost her entire family.
The only person left is to confirm if Alec is alive or dead.
Mm-hmm.
This has like been Catalina's entire purpose, just to get back to her family. Like that was her goal through the whole thing. Oh man, actually that reminds me of my goals. Holy shit, what was my goals?
Well, before we dive too deeply into that, shall we do
It's fine.
a raid?
We definitely should. Now, who is streaming?
I like how 7 hours or so has passed and Lockie's just still staring at that pasta plate.
Like, I feel very uncomfortable.
Gray's streaming.
This is beautiful. I've stared at it for 6 hours now.
GameStorm, 3 people watching them.
Yeah. GameStormers.
Well, pardon me, the last few sessions, Gray has raided us, so pardon me, it might be nice for us to give him a raid. I'm just checking who else is online. If there are any of the nerdy peeps, but it like just take me a second to pull up the things. Oh, there's not a whole lot of people on actually. It's a quiet night.
Indeed.
Huh.
Let's go with Gray, shall we?
Yeah, he's given us heaps of. Also, he keeps promoting us on his streams, so.
Nice of him.
We've got to like throw back the love at him. You guys have to tell him how awesome he is, how much we love his art.
Oh yes, and
Give him a bunch of hydrates.
Mm-hmm.
You can only give so many of those. You can throw things at him though, but not too much.
Yes.
It sends him flying.
Throwing things at him is fun.
It's a lot of fun.
I think I've got his address. I'll send him a whole bunch of mail that just says hydrate.
That's terrifying.
I do know his address, and I'm not going to do that.
I'm actually kind of upset because I sent a letter wishing Ash a happy birthday and it never arrived.
God!
Like I actually asked the post office, and they're like, "Oh yeah, it should have gone." And they said if it didn't get sent, that I should expect it back at the return address, which is my address, in the next 4 or 5 months.
Oh my god!
Jesus.
At
I'm like,
some
well,
point,
at least it'll make back, and I will cross out the first the number, and then I'll give it to him on his.
To be fair, we at work we got some packages that were meant to be store transfers from a store that is very close to us 4 months after they sent it.
I work in a mailroom. I've spoken to couriers. It is an absolute mess at the Australia Post Depot right now. They've hired a lot of new sorters, and they're far from perfect. And things are just kind of chaos over there at the moment.
Yeah, Santa letters get sent to Satan.
That can't be a recent thing, though. Anyway,
look,
Gray. We'll be back
Sunday.
on Sunday.
With Trials of the Zelnari, run by Ash.
Level 5.
The
Level
Sky,
5.
the Sky.
Level 5.
Oh my god, yes, we leveled up! Oh!
I'm keen.
Brain is
And now we
exploding.
get some downtime and some money. We can do dumb stuff.
Yeah!
I'm keen.
I am also keen.
Big mistake.
Gnomes.
There are no gnomes. No.
Many
don't,
gnomes
no,
will die.
No. No.
No.
Many gnomes.
No me's. Wait.
So I think Tarzi's just upset that everyone did yoga for that long. Like,
Screw you! Screw you! Shut up! We don't talk about this. There's just ADHD, alright?
Yoga?
I think I've explained this several times, but I'm willing to do it again for my
Oh
own
my god, I
personal
disappeared
amusement.
saying I'll be back after I do my yoga and got
She
distracted
was gone
for
the
4
whole
hours.
fucking day. Like, morning till late evening.
I just got so distracted, I forgot, I did my yoga and went, oh, wait a minute. and then was like, I'm sorry, Mikhail.
Our message, I was like, so, about that game, I don't think we can play now. And they're like, yeah, I got carried away. I was like, you must be the most limber person on earth right now.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw us over
Raid!
to our end screen so we can raid Gray.
Okay,
Alright.
well, 5 minutes is up.
Have a good one, guys. We'll see you on Sunday.